Oh, my bad. My bad. I didn't turn the sound up. All right. So I got to say all of that over again. Y'all can read lips, can't y'all? Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. Thank you, Robert and Miss Pittsburgh, for telling me that there was no sound. I'm just sitting here talking and didn't turn up the sound. We're not doing a buzz thing where it's just messed up. Yeah, I had to reach over and turn up the sound. My bad. My bad. I was saying I'm sitting here watching Wyatt. Y'all know I watch Lincoln, I watch Wyatt. I watch a few others, but those are the two that I watch kind of back to back before I come on. So I watch Lincoln and I watch Wyatt, and Wyatt's on there and he's talking about a particular subject. I'm not even gonna tell you what it is because you should be watching Wyatt and then you would know. But Wyatt's talking about a particular subject and he's saying like, hey, ain't nobody else talking about this. I ain't heard none of y'all talking about that. I know he wasn't talking about me. But, I didn't want to pat myself on the back. That's why I did that. I didn't want to pat myself on the back and be like, I think I actually did that once. I was like, I talked about that. But yeah, I talked about it. And I actually said pretty much what he's saying. He going hard today. I didn't go that hard. But yeah, I talked about it. And I pretty much said what he said. And I agree with him. I keep telling y'all, I actually agree with Wyatt a whole lot more than I disagree with him. But where we disagree, we disagree. Actually, a lot of times it ain't even that deep. A lot of times we end up in the same location. We just don't agree with the way the other one got there. But we'll both agree, oh, this was wrong. I'll say this is wrong because of, if it's me, because that's some racist stuff. Hold on, let me time out. For a long, long time, I didn't cuss. Because I'm not a cusser. I know a word or two, but I'm not a cusser. And but then y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all start pulling stuff out of me. But I'm going back to not cussing. So I wanted to say the S word, which is technically not a cuss word, in my opinion. But I was going to say the S word, but, I'm not going to say it. But I'm going back to not cussing. And I'm not going to let y'all pull it out of me. Unless y'all pull really hard. But yeah, I didn't. I'll look at a situation and I'll say, we got there because that's some racist stuff. And he'll look at the same situation and he'll say that was wrong. But it was wrong because of, some financial stuff or some political stuff or, something like that. We end up in the same spot. What happened was wrong. It was effed up. I can say effed because that's not actual cussing. Maybe I shouldn't even say effed because that insinuates cussing. It was messed up really bad. We'll both agree it was messed up really bad. We just don't necessarily agree for the same reason and in the same way. But we both will be sitting there like, nah, this is wrong. It need to be fixed. So I'm saying I agree with Wyatt a lot. When we disagree, most times it's we end up in the same spot, but we disagree on how we get there. And then, of course, sometimes I just disagree with the brother. I like Wyatt. I just sometimes disagree with him. And he cool with that, and I'm cool with that. So that's that. I'm going to say hello to everybody. And then after I say hello to everybody, I'm going to do a quick PSA. I don't want to be a piece of trash when I grow. No, not that kind of PSA. I'm going to do a quick PSA. So let me say hi. As usual, come on in, say hi to me. And, I'll say hi to you. Tell me hello and where you checking me out from. That's it. Tell me hello because I'm needy. And where you checking me out from because I'm nosy. All right? I'm needy and I'm nosy. All right? So let me go back to the top. And let's get it started. We got Robert. Robert almost always first with the deuces. What's up, Robert? And again, thank you for telling me there was no sound. We got Miss Pittsburgh in the house. She says, good afternoon. Cut the volume up. Thank you. And good afternoon to you as well, Miss Pittsburgh. We got Carolyn. Carolyn in the house. Good afternoon, Carolyn. Carolyn says, good afternoon, all. Anthony. Anthony says, good afternoon, fam. He's still in hiding. Oh, what are you hiding from? I didn't know he was in hiding. We might have to discuss that. Sierra, she just says, yes. I know that Sierra picking with me. I don't think it's cute, Sierra. Stop. Just because, I didn't come on. Did I miss Thursday and Friday last week? I know I missed Thursday. Yeah, I missed Friday. And maybe I'll discuss that in a little bit. But good afternoon, Sierra. Got Scott. Scott in the house. Says good afternoon. He's on his way to Georgia. All right. I guess that means you are in the car. And, it's like checking me out either on YouTube or on Facebook or, one of those. And you probably listening through is your wife with you? And she like, turn that in off. I want to hear some music. Do what's best for the wifey, okay? But good afternoon, Scott. We got Regina. Regina in the house. Regina said, say it again. Carolyn said, what's up with the sound? I can't hear you. I fixed it. I think I fixed it. I'm pretty sure I fixed it. Preston said, I was just about to say it's on mute. Hey, look, I appreciate y'all. Tell me if something is wrong. Excuse me. If something is wrong, tell me it's wrong. I can usually fix it real quick. Not like some other people. No, I'm just teasing. I like to pick with Lincoln. I like to pick with the radio station, with the people at the radio station that I know. Because they know that's what we do. They know that's what we do. Trust me, when I talk to or communicate with Angel, there's some picking going on back and forth. She picking with me about something. I'm picking with her about something. And by the time we done, it's all love. So that's just our relationship. Me and Terrence communicate. Trust me, I'm giving Terrence a hard time about something, and Terrence is giving me a hard time about something. But when we all done, it's all love. So when y'all hear me picking on the buzz, talking about their technical difficulties and stuff like that, more than likely, I know exactly what it is. I probably know exactly how to fix it, but I don't work there no more. But it's all done in love. And when Lincoln picks with me, same. All right, let's keep it going. Good afternoon, Regina. I don't know why I thought I said good afternoon to you already, but good afternoon. We got Mary Myers in the house. Good afternoon. And the Facebook chat people. Good afternoon, Mary. Good afternoon. Mary, I saw where one of my memories came up from like 8 years ago, where you had linked, my terminology, I'm certain is wrong, but you had posted something and put my name in there. And basically you were telling me that it was okay to go check out Straight Outta Compton and that it was a good movie. And of course I went and saw it, and it was a good movie. So I don't know if that influenced me or not, but thank you. And look, anytime you got good movie suggestions, hit me with them. I love to watch a good movie or to watch a good TV series. I tell you what, I just finished watching. I'm going to get back to the hellos. I just finished watching the third season of Godfather of Harlem. And this season was okay. I mean, everybody knew, no spoilers. Everybody knew how the season was going to end. Anybody who's been watching it and who knows even a little bit about history, like a tiny bit, knew how the season was going to end. They walked us there. I thought it was decent. But again, thank you, Mary. And please feel free to send me stuff, suggestions for TV shows, movies, books, the whole nine. I'm gonna pick back up my reading. Now, y'all know I got a little, I think I got a little ADHD or something. Just as my mama would say, a T90 bit. Because like a book that might take you 3 days to read, might take me 2 weeks. Because I get to reading. Once upon a time. My books don't normally start with once upon a time, but so I can think of. Once upon a time, there was a lady who lived in a shoe. And here's where my brain go. Shoes. I think I need some new shoes. I got them one shoes, but I got a stain on them shoes. But this whole time while my brain is thinking about that, I'm still reading. She had so many children. She didn't know what to do. And I'm still thinking about shoes now because shoe. And so I'll go through 2 pages and then I realize like, wait a minute, I've read this, but I have no idea what happened in those 2 pages. So guess what? I have to go back to 2 pages later. Once upon a time, there was an old lady who lived in a shoe. She had so many children. Children. That's like, what am I got something to do with that grandbaby coming up. Oh, where am I supposed to take the little baby? And then 2 pages later, I'm like, I got to go back to the first 2 sentences because I'm stuck on the kids. That's the way my brain works when I read. And so I have to really, 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 really focus on blocking out the other thoughts that I have that distract me from what I'm reading. So like I said, it might take you 3 days to read a book. It might take me 2 weeks to read that same book. Just because my thoughts be so all over the place. It's crazy. But if you got any good book suggestions, movie suggestions, TV suggestions, et cetera, please send them to me. But again, thank you, Mary. We got Shirley, my cousin, Shirley. Good afternoon. She's checking in from Westchester. Sierra in the house. Sierra, happy Monday from Boston. Who's the experimenter of the week? I don't have an experimenter of the week. Look, if I ever did something like that, I would actually have to take time to figure out. I wouldn't just go through my phone and be like, oh, this is my friend and they do some good stuff, so I'm going to name them the experimenter of the week. Now, I'd be like, I probably, reach out to different resources, different community organizations, and find out who did something amazing this week. And, I would like spend the whole week trying to figure out who I was going to name the experimenter of the week based on things that people have done that week. Not saying that any of the friends of the week haven't been worthy of some recognition, but of the week, it is what it is. But for me, it would take too much time, and I'm just one dude. Miss Pittsburgh says, good to see you. Brent Beard in the house. Good afternoon, Brent Beard, checking in from Dallas, Texas. Myosha says, I thought something was wrong with my phone. And did I see the Krispy Kreme picture that you sent? Yes, I did. I saw all the stuff that you sent me, rubbing your richness in my face. Rubbing your richness in my face. I saw it all. And then, the cherry on top, or I guess the donut on top, is she's showing me that where she was, she could get some good hot Krispy Kreme donuts. And she know I like Krispy Kreme donuts, especially when they hot. And she know ain't really nowhere around here to get hot Krispy Kreme. I can drive up to, Liberty Township or what? Who's driving all the way to Liberty Township for some hot Krispy Kreme donuts? Okay, I might have done it once or twice, but it's not something that I do on a regular basis. And she just was taunting me with it. She was taunting me. See, and then she gets y'all sympathy, like, oh, he's trying to rich shame me. He's trying to rich shame me. And yeah, oh, Emanuel, why are you trying to rich shame her? Oh, you're so wrong. But y'all don't see the behind the scenes where she is sending me pictures of her luxury vacation on the private jet. How do you send somebody a picture of you on a private jet and then say, I'm not really trying to rub my wealth in your face, but you send me a picture of you on a private jet? How? But good afternoon, Myosha. Karen, good afternoon. Checking in from the West End. Terry, good afternoon. Good afternoon. We got Andrea in the house. Good afternoon. Golf Manor. We got, did I already say Terry? A different Terry. Terry, checking us out from downtown. All right, downtown in the house. Erica, good afternoon, Erica. Checking us out from Reading, the speed trap capital of the world. Maybe not of the world, but They gonna get some speed trap money. Carolyn says, I like when you cuss. It's funny. I have to stop cussing. So everything you said to Ben wasn't cussing? No, that wasn't cussing. What cuss word did I say? I didn't say a single cuss word. None. So did you go down the altar yesterday to be delivered of that cussing spirit? No. You know when something is gonna make your A mad and you gonna start cussing. No. CWC PSA. It's a different type of PSA. I'm gonna put it out there. Michael says hello from Woodlawn. Hello, Michael. I see you was in the house on Saturday night. Man, I appreciated you, and I don't know. I'm assuming that was your wife, coming and hanging out with us, and just having a good time. I mean, you know how it is when you up there doing what you do, and you see people actually having a good time. I appreciate you, and I'm assuming it's your lovely wife. I appreciate y'all coming out, having a good time. Oh, let's see. Brent says, so are you saying that the two of you are the modern day Malcolm and Martin of Cincinnati? No, I'm not saying that. Preston says, I try not to cuss on here out of respect for your other listeners because I know that some are a little older. He's checking in from Avondale. Yeah, that's as a respect. Out of respect. I'm going to be cussing out of respect. Kevin says, good afternoon to the beautiful people. I'm not one of the beautiful people, but good afternoon to you, Kevin. Good afternoon. We got David. David, good afternoon. He's saying good afternoon to little baby who not here. E-Man, the Afternoon Experiment fan, checking in from the universe. The universe. The whole thing is the universe. When I say that, some of y'all probably hear me saying that like, why is he talking like that? That's just stupid. It reminds me of the time when Sister Francis was on trying to explain to Lincoln what a black hole was. And that was one of the things she said in that. Jesus has determined the whole thing was the universe. She said it like that. And it stuck in my head. So every time I see the word universe, that's what pops into my head. It's Sister Francis. Let's see. Brian, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Checking you out. We got McConnell in the house checking us out from Fairfield. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Scott says, talking about it, it's his wife in the car. No, she's in front of me and her vehicle. Y'all driving too. Look, I got rich people who watch this because there is no way in the world that me and Mrs. Livingston is driving to Alabama in different vehicles just because. When we drove to Alabama, it was me, Mrs. Livingston, and two of my sisters to conserve vehicles. Y'all just like, forget it. Gas don't mean nothing. All right. We got Brenda in the house checking us out from Fairfield. Good afternoon, Brenda. Of course, Tria in the house. Well, I say of course, like Tria gonna be here. I don't know that for sure, but we got Tria in the house. I guess I was saying, of course, from Columbia Township, because that's what she puts now. But the way it came out was like, I'm PG or something. Like, I know I got her wrapped around my finger. And that's not the case. Thank you, Tria, for checking in with us, and good afternoon. Sierra says, check out I'm a Virgo on Amazon Prime. You got to give me a little bit of a synopsis. The title turns me off. Dwayne, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dwayne. Dwayne says good afternoon to everyone. We got Dorothy in the house. Good afternoon, Dorothy. She's checking us out from Finneytown. Jeannie, I see you. She says, happy Monday. She's late. Wyatt is still on. Wyatt is still on. I see him still on. Let me see. Regina, talking about the reading thing. She does the same or fall asleep. Edward, good afternoon, Edward. Good afternoon. Let me see. Jeannie says, my books are piling up because people keep suggesting shows to watch. We got Shahara in the house. She says, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. She is present. And you can best believe she gonna stick up for Lincoln if you say something bad about Lincoln. So nobody say anything bad about Lincoln, because she is gonna stick up for Lincoln. I'm only halfway picking with her. She does. She don't really realize how hard she go for Lincoln. She think like, oh, I don't really say something bad about Lincoln, and you'll see. And she don't even realize she do it. But I'm halfway picking with her because she don't really do it as aggressively as I put it out there. But it's fun to say. Oh, let's see. We got Pamela. Pamela, good afternoon. Pamela, she's checking us out from North Avondale. David said Rick Jr. campaigning for Experimenter of the Week. I'm feeling a little like Rick Jr. My sinuses are kind of messed up. So I do a lot of sniffing today. It's that and something else. I'll share that with y'all in a little bit. Janice says she knows. I'm not sure what she was referring to, but all right. Terry says that's what Facebook is for. Myosha says, y'all, I was not on no damn private jet. This ding-a-line. I would show y'all the picture that she sent me of the private jet. I would show y'all the picture, but, you know, I'm not going to be that petty. But she was on a private jet. I'm not going to say where she was going, but it was amazing that in that spot, the hot sign was on. Let's see. Quintano in the house. Quintano says, greeting from my Carmel. Did you mean Mount Carmel? I don't know where Mount Carmel is, but all right. Got JCP checking us out from Covington. All right. Kevin says, yeah, reading will get you. We got Terry checking us out from Arlington Heights. Good afternoon, Terry. Let's see. Sabrina says, I thought I was late to the party, but maybe not. Hello from Covington. Hello. I just been rambling. I've been rambling. It feel like forever. I'm not even through the hellos. I need to hurry up and get through the hellos. All right. Let's see a few people talking to Myosha. McConnell said he gonna cuss if it's needed. All right. Dante said if it wasn't his wife, his goose is cooked. Jerica, good afternoon, Jerica. She says, hello, beautiful black people. That's y'all. And the others too. That would be me. I'm just a regular black person, not the beautiful ones. The beautiful ones, baby. No. That's what I'm thinking, the beautiful ones. That's what popped into my head. Valerie says, great day, powerful people. From the West Side. All right. Let's see. Scott says about his wife. She stayed down there. She go back and forth. We got Princess Flower. She is joining us late. She just checking us out. See Wyatt finally ended his broadcast. You know, he love to go into my time. And just, you know, keep half my audience over there with him. And feed him lies about me. No, I'm just playing. He don't do all that. See, I say stuff like that just being silly. And I'm fairly certain that he know I'm just being silly, and most of y'all know. But it'll be somebody who'll be watching. He was talking bad about you, Wyatt. Let's see. We got Daryl. Daryl in the house. Good afternoon, Daryl. I think I said hello to Valerie. I'm a Virgo is a black superhero story written by Boots Riley. Okay. We got Mary, good afternoon. Checking us out from White Oak. Let's see. David waiting for the next episode of The King and I. Let's see. I think that's about it. Shahara talking about, boy, bye. I agree when he's right, not checking when he's wrong. You don't ever check it. I think I seen you checking one time. One time. Only once. We got Ross. He says, greetings, Emanuel Livingston from Mount Price Hill. Good afternoon, Ross. We got Tabitha. Tabitha in the house. Good afternoon, Tabitha. Dante in the house. Good afternoon, Dante. Valerie. I think I said good afternoon, Valerie, but if I didn't, good afternoon. I think that's about it. Sean. Good afternoon, Sean. Checking us out from Atlanta. Let me see. Is her jet a G series? It was just a quick look out the window, but you could tell it was a private jet. I could explain it. It was a private jet, though. Don't let her fool you. We got Diane in the house. Good afternoon, Diane. Good afternoon. She's checking in for GM Golf Manor. I'm gonna assume that's Golf Manor. Lonzo. Good afternoon, Lonzo. Checking in. From work. Can't milk the clock today. Shorthanded. Sorry to hear that. Jack. Good afternoon. Valerie want to know where is the TikTok merchandise. Maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit too. I think that's about it. Right. Davis, Denise. Good afternoon. And all right. So let's see. Let's do the PSA. Let's do the PSA first. Let me put my name back up here. Anybody who tunes in, they know who I am. The PSA. It's a really simple PSA. Look, I don't try to start stuff with people. And people, please don't start stuff with me. We can disagree and just disagree. But if you start like calling names and all of that kind of stuff, it's probably gonna go downhill. Like I be telling people all the time, I don't start stuff. You're not gonna find a situation where somebody can legitimately say, Emanuel started it. Because that's not gonna be the case. I don't start stuff. But if you start something, look, let me tell you this about me. I can't tell you I grew up in the projects and all that kind of stuff. I didn't. Not ashamed that I didn't, but I didn't. But I had a fight or two. In my day coming up. I won some. I lost some. But one thing I never did, but that's not true, it is that one time. I don't run from a fight. Be it physical, verbal, whatever. I don't run from a fight. Even my granddaddy once told me, we were talking about fight, and my granddaddy said, he was talking about a whole lot more serious stuff. But he said, look, depending on the situation, sometimes a good run is better than a bad stand. And I thought, okay, yeah, he talking weapons and all that kind of stuff. If you got a gun, I'll run from that. But just, man, I never ran from a fight. Again, except that one time. And one of these days, I'll tell y'all about that one time. And I laugh every time I think about it, because thinking back on it, it's hilarious. But I don't start stuff. I know I'm abrasive and all of that kind of stuff to some people, but that's no reason to start, calling names and all that kind of stuff. But if you're going to call names, and, we going. Like, I don't agree with Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high. No, I don't agree with that. I actually believe that's a part of the Democrats' problem. Because they trying to have the higher moral ground. Sometimes you just need to see the higher moral ground. All right, you went low. I'll give you the low ground will be the high moral ground. Let me show you how low I can go. of course, the point of that is, you don't want people to be like, oh, I can go as low on him as I want. And when people realize they can get away with it with no pushback, they go lower and lower and lower. And then eventually you see how low they can go. No, I'm going to go lower than you. And then you're going to start talking about how unfair I am. When all you had to do was, let's not go low. Let's talk about ideas and not people. But if we want to talk about people, okay, that's cool. Now, if you are, like say some anonymous person, you're some anonymous person that, nobody knows. Go to your page, ain't no pictures, ain't no posts. You just created a page to go low on people. Then all right, let's go low. But then don't get mad because my low get the better of your low. Sometimes your low trump my low. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, you got me with that one. That was good. But don't get mad because my low beat your low. You don't know who you talking to. No, I don't. Because you anonymous. So no, I don't know who I'm talking to. Be a man or a woman or a black person or a Latino or a white guy or a white trans or a, Hispanic, non-conforming, whatever else you want to throw in it. I ain't no telling what you are. You're an anonymous. That's what you are. So don't be mad. Don't be mad. And none of that would matter, even the anonymous people, if you just talk about ideas. Talk about ideas, not about people. All right? How about that? And we got Blade. Blade says, I think this is the second time he said this today, you are the smartest on Facebook. And all I have to say to that, Blade, is thank you. Because a lot of people don't give me my due. A lot of people don't want to give me my due. I'm like a genius, only different. I'm like a genius, only different. I could explain exactly what that means, but, as Blade says, that's the smartest person on Facebook. That would go over a lot of y'all heads. And I'm not really trying to do that to nobody. Not really trying to do that to nobody. All right. What else? There was something else that I wanted to talk. What else did I say I was going to talk about? What else did I say I was going to? Oh, and that's right. You could be a Samoan trisexual, what do they call it? So you're trisexual, but you dress as the opposite gender, even though you identify as the opposite gender. What would that be? I'm just kind of curious. If you're a person who's open sexually, so that would make you like Wayne Brady, pansexual. Right? Am I right? So you're a Lady K says non-binary. So you're a pansexual, non-binary, cross-dressing, something or another. For all I know, if you are some anonymous person, you could be all of that. You could be all of that. All right, let me see. I'm not exactly sure, honestly, how long I'm gonna be down here. Now on Friday, hold on, let me do this here. No, here. Go here. Go here. All right. On Friday, I wasn't on. And people were asking me. My Mrs. Livingston, she got in the car. I'm going to say it was Thursday night. She got in the car and she started driving somewhere. And the check engine light came on. She said the car was idling rough and everything. So, come on home. And, she took my car to go do whatever it was she had to do. It was, nighttime, basically. Couldn't do anything. So on Friday morning, Get the car looked at. They give us, they kind of tell us what's wrong with the car. Their initial kind of diagnosis, their initial diagnosis. But of course, before they put it on the machine and all that kind of stuff, they say, this is what we think is wrong with it, but we're not sure. We got to put it, we got to do diagnostics. And then we'll be able to tell you. But we're pretty sure this is what's wrong with it and maybe some other stuff. So for this part that's wrong with it, that's going to cost $600. Going to cost what? That's going to cost $600. And then, if we find anything else, then that'll be more on top. Like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of money. That's a small job. For that kind of money, that's a small job. I say, all right, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. They say, all right, take the car home. Basically, the valve cover gasket needed to be replaced. Why that's going to cost so much? So in order to do all of that stuff, basically the little, I got one of those things that you plug into your car and it gives you the codes. And I look up the code and it was a misfire on, I think, cylinder 3. Not 100% sure. So I'm like, okay, cool. I can figure this out. So I go to take out the first spark plug. When I lift it out, oil is just dripping off the spark plug into the cylinder. Of course, got to get that taken care of real quick. So I take off all of the ignition coils or whatever and, put stuff in there to try to soak up all the oil that's in there. And, I do the best job that I can. And eventually pull out all of the stuff, go buy the parts to replace the valve cover gasket and the little gaskets that go around where the spark plug go in. I think I've spent a total of, $65 or something like that. Like $65 total. I'm like, okay. And I figure out the rest of it because something is making this oil leak into this cylinder that shouldn't be happening. And in my mind, if they saw that, they would have tacked on a whole lot more money. But I'm still just sticking with the $600. So I pull that off. I go to pull off the valve cover gasket, which is, supposed to be like a rubber gasket. It wasn't rubber no more. It was like a hard plastic. It was so ineffective. And it because it was so bad, it was hard to get the valve cover off of the car. It was seized onto the block. So getting that off, that in itself took me at least 30 minutes, probably about 45 minutes just to get that off. So then I get that off. And of course, you got to clean the little thing around it. If you don't know anything about cars now, this is maybe a little over your head. I don't know a whole lot about cars. All right. But I got so many degrees from YouTube University. I know a little bit about everything. I know just a little bit about literally everything. Well, maybe not literally everything. So I eventually I get that off. I clean off and I'm like, all right, now I figure out what's making this oil go into of course, the seals around the little chamber where the spark plugs go in, those were the same, just hard plastic. Now I got the valve cover seal that came off, pretty cool from the valve cover. The other seals around the spark plugs, those gaskets, no, could not get them off of there. Like they wasn't coming. So, I go to YouTube, watch a number of videos. Nobody tell me anything how to get these off. I don't know. I had a little bit of an epiphany. And so I got my heat gun and I figured I'll heat it up. If I heat up the plastic, then it'll, loosen up and I'll be able to get it out. And that's eventually what I ended up having to do. So do that, replaced everything, put everything back together, make sure everything was good and clean and all that kind of stuff. New spark plugs, the whole nine. And man, I put everything back together. started the car up. I was going to say purr like a kitten, but we know I had some kitten issues. I don't ever want that car to purr like a kitten. It ran wonderfully. And can I tell you, I felt like I won. I felt like I won. With everything going on, it took me, and when I said it took me 4 hours of actual work, now it was probably about an hour or so of research involved. So all in all, from the time I started the job to the time I finished the job, it was probably about a total of 6 hours. But about four of those hours was out there actually working. But I felt like for 4 hours of work to save basically $600. And trust me, it would have been more. If they would have saw that oil coming, it would have been more. But just say $600 for, I made $150 an hour in my driveway doing work. So, hey, that was a win. I'm sorry I wasn't here for y'all on Friday, but that had to be taken care of. Look, my car can be down for the next 5 years. But when her car go down, that need to be fixed today, if at all possible. When her car go down, that needs to be fixed today. So that was what it was. Her car went down. I fixed it. She was back in business Friday afternoon. And again, I felt like I made $150 an hour. I didn't make it, but that's $600 that I would have had to spend that I didn't spend. So that's $600 still in my bank account. And I only had to do 4 hours of work for it. Again, that's $150 an hour. So I still feel like I made $150 an hour. And you can't beat that. Well, $200 an hour would beat that. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So there you go. There you go. So that's why I wasn't here on Friday. Now, the reason I might get up out of here early today is because I need to handle this anyway. But I was in the garage. I'm moving stuff because, I got tools in the garage. But I'll be trying to not tell on Mrs. Livingston too much. But she got a lot of stuff that she has stored in the garage. So I don't really have room for all of my stuff in the garage. And in the process of kind of going through, getting my tools and moving about and moving stuff around, I knocked over a whole gallon of gas. And then it ran onto some other stuff. And I'm pretty sure it's having some kind of chemical reaction in there. And yes, this was on Friday. But I was so busy after that on Friday, and then on Saturday, and then on Sunday. And I've been busy virtually all day today. And so when I get off of here, I got to go spray down and clean up the garage because the smell from the gas and whatever the gas fell on, I didn't know I knocked the gas over. This is a horrible thing. I don't know how many of y'all, work on stuff or whatever, but I'm in the garage. It's totally quiet. I move and, I know my foot brushed against something. I felt my foot brush against something, but that was it. I didn't think I knocked anything over. And then I heard, go, 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 go. And I'm like, oh my goodness, something is spilling. Something is spilling. That was a terrible spilling sound. I could do it better, but I didn't want to do all of that. But you know the sound when you just hear the pouring. And I'm like, oh my goodness, something is spilling, but I don't know what it is. I'm like, oh my goodness. I hear it. So I had to be real quiet and track it down. Real quiet and track it down. And then I see it and just gas. The whole gallon. Just by the time I got to it. Just out on the floor. Oh my goodness. And I got to get out there and fix it. So when I get finished here, I got to go in the garage, spray it down and clean everything up. So, yeah, if I seem a little loopy, I'm down here in these fumes. Like last night, I came down here and my skin kind of started tingling. And I was like, I feel like I'm absorbing it through my skin. So I had to go back upstairs, open up the windows and, kind of let it air out a little bit. But as soon as I finish, when I say as soon as I finish, when I hit this fade to black, boom, right out there to that garage, pull everything out. I don't care if it is raining cats and dogs. Y'all know I got issues with cats. I don't care if it's raining cats and dogs. I'm pulling stuff out and I am spraying that garage, get that gas and all that kind of stuff. And she like, what you gonna do with the gas? What you gonna do with it? I ain't nothing I can do with it but rinse it down the drain. That's all I can do. That's it. So yeah, I'm rinsing it down and that's that. That's that. What else? I think it was one other thing that I wanted to share, but I can't think of what it was. One other thing that I wanted to share, but I can't think of what it was. Other than that, Blake trying to start stuff. Oh no, not that one. Where you at, Blake? Oh no, not that one. Every time I go to click it, it go away. E-Man, Beth said, what's up? Let me tell y'all, Beth, some of y'all don't know Beth. Beth she used to be a caller to the radio station when I did my show on the radio station. And I actually liked Beth. Like, I really liked Beth. Beth got mad at me one time because I basically asked her if she wanted to get married, and she said no, and I kind of questioned her about whether she wanted to get married or whether she done gave up hope. And she got mad. And so she never called me again. But ain't nothing wrong with giving up hope. She gave up hope. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you shouldn't, but ain't nothing wrong with that. So yeah, now she don't call me no more. And so he trying to start stuff. Talking about Beth said, what's up? Beth ain't said that. Beth don't talk to me no more. But if Beth ever want to join back, the afternoon experiment family, she is more than welcome. I got no beef with Beth. No beef whatsoever with Beth. She is all right with me. I met Beth, gave her a nice hug, and she was absolutely all right with me. Kevin says, delete this live. Why would I delete this live? No. Let me see. There was something else. Oh, I did want to, just for a minute. Let me see. Diane says she a good caller. She was a good caller. I don't know why she got so upset about that. Is Bev the one you had over for dinner? No, I never had her over for dinner, but I met her down at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center. I had a remote down there once, and she came down, and I met her, and, she was nice. She was a nice woman. What was I about to talk about? Wayne Brady. Can I ask y'all a question? Does anybody care? Wayne Brady come out as pansexual. So that's the thing that be bothering me sometimes about some of this stuff. And we talk about all of this what they call wedge issues and all of that kind of stuff. But look, Wayne and others, I don't care. Look, you get up and you host your shows. Do a good job hosting. You tell your jokes. Do your best to be funny. Bro, if you're funny, I'll laugh. If you're not funny, I won't laugh. But overall, I don't care who you have sex with. I don't care who you're sexually attracted to. I don't need to know. I don't want to know. I don't need to know, and I don't want to know. Why are people still coming out being pan this and buy this and non this and all. And maybe I'm alone in this, but I don't think most people care. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Look, I know some of y'all love Beyonce, right? I don't. When Beyonce got like maybe 2 or 3 songs that I actually know and like. Maybe 2 or 3 Beyonce songs that I actually know and like. I pick her because, she's one of the biggest celebrities in the world right now. When I'm listening to a Beyonce song that I like, I'm not thinking, oh, she's married to Jay-Z. She likes men. Oh, she's got a child named, it's Blue Ivy. I think it's Blue Ivy. Oh, she got a child named Blue Ivy. I'm not thinking about any of that. I'm listening to the music and I like that particular song. So I'm enjoying that song, period. Well, but she's heterosexual. I don't care. I'm not thinking about that. You know what? Before I knew Ellen was gay, I watched her comedy and I chuckled a time or two at her comedy. I didn't chuckle because I thought she was straight. I chuckled because what she said was kind of funny. Once I found out she was gay, I saw her do some comedy and I chuckled a little bit at some of the stuff she said. Now, the majority of her comedy had switched to being about the fact that she was gay, which kind of, I didn't love, but she said a joke or two that I chuckled at. Other than that, I don't care. So, look, any celebrity who happens to, stumble across this little podcast, experiment thing, I feel comfortable speaking up for the right now 76 people who are watching. We don't care. We don't want to know who you're sexually attracted to. And we don't care what your I don't even know what you would call that, your sexual preference is. We don't care. Stop coming out to us. We just assume, maybe this part I should just speak for me. I just assume that all y'all was out there is kind of weird anyway. And that y'all all doing some crazy, freaky stuff. So the less I know about that stuff, the better. I know all y'all ain't doing freak. Well, I don't know that. But I don't care. So you can come out to your family, come out to your friends, to the people that you love, that it's important to them to know who you are and where you stand. That's who you come out to. You don't have to do a press release or anything like that. I don't care. I don't care. I saw somebody put a comment. Somebody put up a comment. And there was a distinction, but hold on. Andre says, that's the same argument that is used against people who listen to R. Kelly. What's the same argument? Because I see the difference. I see a difference. Like if Wayne Brady came out and said, I like to have sex with minors who are not legally able to consent, then I would say don't support Wayne Brady. Don't support Wayne Brady. Because if you support him, you put money in his pocket, and so you are empowering him to have broad reach and influence to get those people who we need to protect from him. Because to me, that's the issue of R. Kelly. That's why I don't listen to R. Kelly. I'm like, I'm not trying to put money in his pocket to, maybe help fund his appeals so that he can get out and then have a greater reach to those people that I don't think he should have a reach to. We got CK calling in. CK!
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Livingston?
CK, I'm doing good. How about you?
Man, hey, I heard how you knocked out that, that labor. You knocked out that labor for 600 ball. That 600, man, hey. That's how you do it. Like you said, that's all profit in your pocket,
Right, and that's what I
in your
say.
bank account.
If you can, if you can, I know I done had this conversation a lot. If you can, you have to realize a lot of that stuff you can do yourself. It's some bolts and some screws. Take the old part off, put the new part on. A lot of times it's really simple. If you can do it on your own, you can save a
Yes,
lot of
sir.
money.
Yep. And you was telling them like, so have you did the brakes? You be doing your own brake jobs?
Yes.
Now, how much you save on that when you do it yourself?
I guess it all depends on what it is that you're doing, but you can save a
Like changing the
significant
brake
amount.
pad.
Like because I've done almost the entire brake system. I've replaced the master cylinder, some of the brake lines, the calipers, and the rotors and the whole nine. So on a job like that, I've saved thousands of dollars. You talking about just
Wow.
replacing pads and stuff. I don't know how much pads are. I don't, just off the top of my head, I'd have to go look. But you might be looking at around $50 or something like that for if you once you know what you're doing for a few minutes
Mm-hmm.
worth of work, you might save $50, $100.
Right. That's the game. See, I like how you like how you said it, because only time you're gonna spend that $600 when you don't want to do it. So how was it frustrating doing it, or how did you get interruptions, or did you get to go straight through with the
Well,
4
no,
hours?
it was absolutely frustrating because of those rubber gaskets that had become like really rock hard. So getting them off was
Oh, you had to scrape it with the scraper thing.
no. Well, I mean, I did around the engine. Yeah, to clean that off, I did. But in terms of getting the gaskets off, I used a heat gun probably for, I don't know, 2-3 minutes, and then they just popped right off. But initially it was just breaking off, and I would have had to pick it apart piece by piece by piece by piece. And it was not reasonable for me to do that. So I had to stop, go do a little bit of research, look some stuff up. So that's why I said in total, probably about 6 hours, but probably, a good hour or so of that was research in how to get those gaskets out of those little areas there. But once I did it, had I known that, then it would have been real quick. Because like I said, it took me about 5 minutes with a heat gun and
You just melted it off?
but no, I didn't melt it, but the heat gun softened up the plastic, and then just allowed it, or the rubber. I'm saying plastic because it was hard like plastic.
Right.
Softened up the rubber, and then just allowed me to just pop it on out.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Hey, that's good work. But and to your pansexual conversation. Now a lot of these guys is just I don't know what you think, but do you think they be trying to just say stuff for clout, for clicks and views? Do you think that's be what it is? Let me try to go viral.
Well, no.
Do you think that could be?
I don't think so. The only one who I kind of thought that about was the Old Town Road dude. What's his name?
Yep. Pretty Richard. What's his name?
Whatever. Him, I thought so. But when I look at it,
Lil Nas X, that's his name. Lil Nas X.
But let me ask you this. Would you ever come out publicly, worldwide, as a gay dude if you wasn't a gay dude?
Would you come
Would
out
you,
with?
CK, right now say, I'm gay, and the whole world know it? Every woman that you ever might try to holler at in the future know that you gay. Would you ever do that just to do it?
Hell no.
Exactly. That's why if you come out and tell me you gay, I believe you gay.
Right. Yeah, and people try to speak for you, but he just saying that for such and such. Yeah, we know why he's saying it, because he mean it. But you got to remember now, like you said, nobody cares. We listen to Luther Vandross. I don't know if you remember, I don't know how old you are, but this guy named Luther Vandross came out in the 80s to sing like, you know what I mean?
What
he
was
could
his
sing
name?
like
I never heard of this guy. What was his name?
Luther Vandross.
I'm just teasing. Yeah, of course I know Luther Vandross, yes.
Yeah. Nobody gave a damn. We just loved his music, right? Nobody cared about his sexuality, did we?
Well, Luther Vandross never came out, but and
Exactly.
again, and I don't care. He sang, and like you said, I like some of his music. And I mean, right now you put on some Luther Vandross, I'll enjoy Luther Vandross. I don't think about whether or not Luther Vandross was having sex with dudes.
Exactly. When you listen to his music, that's not what it's about. You're listening to the music. Like, this is like, we was listening to Luther Saturday. Like, this guy is a super talent, like one of the greatest. If you listen to some of his music, but nobody gave a damn about his sexuality. We knew what he was, but it didn't mean nothing. And he wasn't trying to use it, as you said, Ellen DeGeneres. We loved you before you told us you was gay. Now, when you come out and tell us you're gay, looking at you with the side eye. Like, why you had to do that, girl? It wasn't no conversation. We was not wondering about your sexuality, Miss Ellen.
No.
But you want to throw it all in our face. I'm like, why they don't come out and say they straight?
I guess people just assume that unless you say differently, you straight. Unless, what I'm saying, you give off gay vibes. I mean, early on, Prince definitely gave off some seriously gay vibes. And yeah, everybody was like, is this dude gay? So yeah, everybody was wondering. But if you're not giving off,
but we didn't care though. But we still didn't care.
Nah, people really didn't care. People really didn't care.
Because your music speaks for itself. It don't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't. Your sexual preference does not matter. Nobody, unless, like you said, unless you're a phobic. And now, if you're a phobic, then maybe it could cause issues. But man, what you do in your own personal business, man, don't nobody give a damn.
Don't nobody care.
When that next album coming out? Michael Jackson. They use that to try to tear you down. And I think you used a good example with Ms. Ellen DeGeneres. You know what I mean? And I'm just thinking like, man, that's just. I'm thinking, but I thought Wayne Brady did it to go viral. Just because we ain't heard nothing. When the last time we were thinking about Wayne Brady? Now he's number one in the news.
Well,
so that sounds like a
Wayne Brady. It ain't like he doing something new. Like, he's still hosting Let's Make a Deal. I think he's still doing the little improv show. I can't remember the name of it. Whose Line Is It Anyway? So I think he's still doing that. It's not like Wayne Brady is like, hey, I'm about to star in this big movie and I need all the attention. I don't know why he decided to come out, but
yeah, Wayne, we need you to do something so you can be the conversation to everybody. We need a bright little 5 minutes.
But why? Why would he do that? Like, why would he want to be the conversation for 5 minutes? He got a steady couple gigs.
Right. Oh, so you saying you don't think it's a clout chase? He's just telling his truth.
Nah, I guess he's just telling the truth. I don't know. I don't know exactly the whole thing surrounding it. Like, maybe somebody asked him in an interview, and he was just at a point where he was open to discussing it. But I don't understand how that's clout chasing.
Mm-hmm. But I think when they come out with gay, you get that Rainbow Coalition behind you, and they're a powerful organization. So,
but what is that going to do for him? What's that going to do for Wayne Brady?
Maybe it gets you a new audience base.
Maybe. Maybe the ratings on Let's Make a Deal are going to shoot through the roof, and then they're going to give him a raise. Maybe. I don't see it though.
Yeah, you're right though. You're right. I see what you're saying. But yeah, man, hey, I just wanted to call in and holler at you before you got out of here. I know you got work to do. You said you got to get that gas up, right?
Oh, definitely got to get that gas up. I'm feeling maybe a little bit lightheaded right now.
What you got to use to get that up? Just straight water, or you got?
I'm just gonna spray it down. Yeah, I'm gonna just spray down the garage, spray it all out of the garage, and let that dry.
Hell yeah. Well, you promoting good shit though. Like you said, saving money saves lives. Because now you got more money, you can spend that $600 on a vacation or something. You know what I mean? extra 600 in the bank. You know what I mean? But hey, much love to the platform. Like you said, we're gonna get a million subscribers. We only got 2 months left. We're gonna get this million subscribers by the end of the year. We on our way.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's CK. I appreciate the call, CK. 513-717-5464. The other thing I kind of wanted to discuss is a lot of shootings that happened over the weekend. A lot of shootings happened over the weekend. And look, I know I've heard what Lincoln was saying. And if you're not from here, Lincoln Ware is a local talk show host on the Radio 1 owned, black owned talk station. And he was saying that Cincinnati City Council, there is nothing they can do to stop this violence. There's nothing they can do to stop this violence. If that's the case, I know a number of them ran on that. Like, I can't just immediately call back to everybody's campaign, but a lot of them ran on stopping the violence. Why are we letting them run on stop the violence if we realize that there's nothing they can do to stop the violence? Like, both things, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want both things to be true. Like, oh, he's going to stop the violence. Oh, she's going to stop the violence. I'm voting for them because I think they have a good idea of how to stop the violence. And then they get in office and there's violence and you're like, well, there's nothing they can do to stop the violence. I don't know that I agree that there's nothing that they could do to stop the violence. Exactly what they could do, I'm not sure. But I gotta believe there's something that can be done, not to stop violence, because nobody can, I don't believe anyone can stop violence. When somebody's running their next campaign and they're like, hey, I'm gonna stop the violence in our community, remember now, and ask them exactly how. Exactly how do you intend on stopping the violence? Don't just say, we're going to stop the violence. Exactly how are you going to stop the violence? And if not, stop telling me you're going to stop the violence, because you're not. And we don't like it when y'all come and tell us, but that would take, at least a bit of a more informed electorate. You hear somebody say, I'm going to do this. It's not just Democrats. It's not just Republicans. It's people. Donald Trump promised a whole lot of stuff that there was no way that he was ever going to deliver. And people voted for him on the strength of what he promised. Joe Biden promised stuff, no way in the world he can deliver. People voted for him on the strength of that promise. We want to believe that these people are, somehow, these are brilliant people and they have solutions and they have answers. A lot of them are no more smarter than you and me. Well, than you. Remember, I'm the smartest person on Facebook. But a lot of them are no more smarter than we are. They just want power. And look, don't miss. I believe that most people who run for office initially want to be an agent for change. I really do believe that. I don't, when it's political stuff, you might be able to make moves and make things happen. But when it's something like, we gonna end the violence, we gonna stop the violence, they just talking. That's aspirational. And that's what they're playing to. They're playing to the fact that they know that you want to see violence in. And if I can convince you, whatever way, shape, or form, if I can convince you that I got some secret recipe to end violence, you'll vote for me. And so they, whoever can do the best job of convincing you, that's who you're gonna vote for. And so that's why they do that. And then they get in office. And what bothers me though is some people play games. Some people play games. Like, look, y'all remember when John Cranley was in office? And what's his name? The dude that I always thought was an alcoholic who thought he sounded sexy. He was the city manager. I think he was an alcoholic and he thought he sounded sexy. I can't remember his name right now. I think he came out of Baltimore. Lighter skinned brother with the light eyes. Can anybody remember his name for me? It wasn't Dahoney. It was after Dahoney. It was Harvey Springer. No, I don't even know nobody named Harvey Springer. Blackburn. No. And Harry Black. Harry Black. That was his name. Thank you, Sierra. That was close. Harry Black. He always whispered, yeah, I wanted to say that, I believe that him. He thought he sounded sexy. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. And then it got to a point where when he used to come to the station, he would have his assistant come in and be like, can you make sure you turn up the mic so that everybody can hear him? And I would tell his assistant, I can't say what I said because I said I wasn't going to cuss. But I would legit say that I'm not going to cuss. I'll say the letters and you'll know what the cuss word is. But this is what I would say to his assistant every time he came in. Because for real, he would go in to sit down with Lincoln. He would sit down, he would turn, because, the glass is behind, and he would wave to me, and then he would call his assistant over, and he would whisper something in his assistant's ear, and then his assistant would leave the booth in there and then come in my studio and, knock on the door, open it up, and then he'd say, can you make sure you turn the city manager up so that he can be heard? And I would say, tell that MF, if he want to be heard, stop whispering. Okay. And then I don't know what he would actually go in and tell Harry Black. See, I didn't cuss. But yeah, him. What they did to him was, well, it was him that they did it to, right? Where they gave him like 30 days to come up with, oh no, it wasn't him who did that to the chief. No, he did it to the chief. He did it to Chief Blackwell. Gave him 30 days to come up with a plan to stop crime. How you don't give a man 30 days to come up with a plan to stop crime? "30 days to come up with a plan to stop crime." So you're talking about setting somebody up for failure. And it's little games like that they play. Like we don't see it. And there were a lot of people who were on board with that. There were a lot of people behind that. It wasn't just Harry Black. It was Cranley. It was, if I'm not incorrect, Smitherman. And a few others. "30 days to come up with a plan to end crime in Cincinnati." When you do something like that, we know y'all playing games, and basically y'all about to fire this man. Y'all about to fire this man. So, and I heard I think it was Wyatt, and he was kind of drawing the parallel. Like when Smitherman was in office, everybody was saying, "What is he doing about crime? What is he doing about crime?" But now that he ain't in office and crime is out of hand, all y'all ain't screaming, "What are these people doing about crime? What are these people doing about crime?" And I think some of that goes back to, I'm sorry, you don't be in on that kind of a plot, because that's what I perceive it as a plot. If you are one of the people who are in on the plot and then you get rid of the dude that you wanted to get rid of under the guise of we need him to stop crime, and then you are the head of law and public safety, then yeah, I'm going to look at you and say, all right, now, head of law and public safety, what are you doing to stop crime? What are you doing? Was it fair? No, it wasn't fair. But it wasn't fair what they did either. And people like to, you put people in a situation, you know what I'm saying, like that. And again, the people saw it. Like we all saw it. We talked about it. Like, what in the world? That's some bull. You can say bull. It's not cussing. So, all right, now you in the hot seat. What are you doing? Well, we know you couldn't neither one of them do anything. And I mean, like right now. Do I believe there are things that could be done to reduce crime? Yeah. Yeah. Do I know what those things are? No, I don't know what they are. If I knew what they were, then I would be hollering and screaming about it. Do this, do this, do this. And, they probably wouldn't do it. But I would be making noise about it. Y'all, this crime is just, it's here. Here's the defeatist, some of y'all will say. That crime is just here. Sure, we want to talk about education. We want to talk about economics. We want to talk about, all of the little things that contribute to it. But it's a whole lot of little things that contribute to it with a very small percentage of the population. Because again, even if you look, how many shootings was it over this weekend? I don't remember. In my mind, I'm thinking, maybe 5 or 6? 5 or 6 shootings for a 2-day period. Like, oh, crime is out of hand. And yeah, crime is out of hand. But I like to try to give people a little bit of perspective when we talking about tackling this problem. Crime is up. Violence is up. And again, even if you assume that every crime committed in the city of Cincinnati was a black man, that's still such a small percentage of black men committing crimes. If every single crime committed in Cincinnati was a black man for the year, which I don't have the numbers with me, I'll get the numbers. Maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, I'll have the numbers. If every single crime committed in Cincinnati was a black man doing it and a black victim, you still at probably less than 1% of black men committing all the crimes. So when we talk about black crime, black violence and crime as if it's black people, it's a very, 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 very small percentage of black people. And usually when your issue is such a small percentage of people, the solution is going to be so nuanced. It's going to be hard to pin it down. It's difficult. Because even with that very small percentage, each one of them probably has a slightly different reason why they do it and how they got into it and why they won't quit or, whatever. Now there are some things, some bigger things that you can look at. It you can definitely look at and say, I forget what the statistic was, and I don't want to make it up, but there's some enormous percentage of people in prison who can't read and write on like a fourth grade level. So okay, that becomes important. That becomes important. You imagine that's a good number of people who are, below a certain economic level. That becomes important then. You know what I'm saying? As you can take even that tiny number, and look at what's common across the majority of it, then you fix those problems and you might reduce that number. That just makes sense. But now I'm going to just throw out some numbers off the top of my head, but I will look up the numbers. If I told you 85% of the black men in prison can't read above a fourth grade level, I think it's a fair assumption to say we need to make sure our kids can read. Maybe that'll lower their chances of going to prison. I think that's a fair assumption. If I told you 85% of the black men in prison were below the poverty line, it makes sense to say that if we get black people above the poverty line, then maybe we can bring some of that crime down. That's a reasonable assumption to make. That don't necessarily mean it's going to work across the board, but it's a reasonable assumption to make. If I told you, 85%, I'm just throwing out 85%. Again, I don't know these numbers. I'll get the numbers as best as I can. If I told you 85% of, the people in prison were from single parent households, and it would make sense. What can we do to stop having all these single parent households? Because for whatever reason, and it makes sense to assume that if we could fix that problem, then it would bring that level down. That makes sense. And then you have to ask. What can city council do to address any of those issues? But again, at the same time, you got to deal with the causes of it, but you also got to deal with the effects of it. So you got to deal with both. So you can't just be like, oh, we're going to deal with the causes of it and whatever happens, happens. No, you got to deal with both. So I don't think it's as easy as some people say it is, as some people think it is. It's really not. Oh, we got Alethea. Something about me telling people to suck D. You missed the PSA early in the show. If you don't start none, won't be none. I'm talking about being a preacher's kid. Let me tell y'all this. Yeah, my daddy was a preacher. And I said things that my dad didn't like. I still say things that I'm certain he wouldn't like. But sometimes I think he would understand. LaDonna says, what? On Wyatt's show, somebody was coming for me. Somebody was attacking me. Calling names, all that kind of stuff. And I told him to go suck some D. That sounds like a reasonable response. I didn't say mine. It's just somebody's. I think that's a reasonable response. I wasn't making them do it. I just said to do it. They can always say, no, thank you. You can always say no. Oh my goodness. Whether y'all notice or not, just because I say do it, don't mean you have to do it. It don't mean you have to do it. You could not do it. I have a feeling that they probably did it, but you could not do it. I have a feeling that the person that I said it to probably did it. But they didn't do it because I said to do it. I think they might have did it just because it's something they like to do. You can't be mad at me for that. You know, if you tell me that, Emanuel, go suck some D, I'm going to be like, no. No. I'm not going to do that. Just, oh. Did it, and then I'm only doing it because Emanuel told me to do it. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I'm sorry, y'all. What else is going on in the world? Oh, Raven Monday. Raven Monday stops by the show. Good afternoon, Raven Monday. I don't think anybody asked for you. Did you? We was talking. And then you say that somebody asked? No. Nobody did. Nobody did. Oh, that would be terrible. Let's see what else is going on in the city, y'all. So I know I'm gonna be getting out of here in a few minutes. Because I feel it, my skin. I feel it seeping into my skin again. My skin is tingling just a little bit. Janice says, I could take any race, put them under the same conditions as African Americans were and have been thrust into, and they would turn out to be the exact same way. Society tries very hard to make it seem somehow that Black people are inherently bad. I got to come off here to read the rest of it. Inherently bad. That is propaganda and indoctrination or indoctrination. I think indoctrination. I thought it was indoctrination. I had to look it up. And she says, never believe it. Yeah, I don't believe that it's a race issue. I agree with you. I believe it was I believe it is an issue of conditions. And again, I said this last week, I keep hearing people say, oh, this person or this group came over to this country and they succeed and they showing y'all how to succeed. And if y'all can't succeed and they can succeed, something wrong with y'all and blah, blah, blah. And I said last week, they came here under different circumstances with different opportunities. They came over here and yes, you work hard. There's a good chance or there is a chance that you can be successful. When we were brought over here, you work hard and there's a chance that you can stay alive so that you can continue to work hard for somebody else while they, maybe tear your family apart or, abuse you and put you in a situation where you can't achieve. It's different. And the same with, I know a few people who have left the United States and gone elsewhere where they say it's hard to achieve. And I'm talking about Black Americans. And they overachieve in that society. And then, something happens to sometimes when people overachieve, they begin to think if people don't achieve the same level of success that they achieve, that they're lazy or that there's something wrong with them or that they're making excuses or that, this and this and this and that. But listen, in the world, and it's crazy that you have to say this to people, for people to understand. In the world, some people are going to achieve more than other people. Everybody in America cannot and will not be the CEO of their own Fortune 500 company, because that would be more than 500 companies. Everybody in America is not going to achieve that. And don't mean they ain't working hard. Just everybody doesn't achieve at the same level. That's just true. And so I know a friend of mine who went to, I think it was Zimbabwe, and became very successful over there. And he's like, man, the opportunities over here are crazy. I can't believe these Africans over here won't take advantage of these opportunities. They saying the same thing over here that black people saying in America. And I had to tell him, like, bro, you didn't grow up in Zimbabwe. I think it's Zimbabwe. Or was it Nigeria? You didn't grow up there with the same challenges. So you were able to come in with basically a clean slate in terms of your mindset and do something that they can't accomplish based on their history. But if I could do it, they could do it. No, not necessarily. There is something about a clean slate. You ever met somebody who was in all kind of trouble wherever they were from, but then they moved to a different city and they were able to leave all of that stuff behind and just go to a new place and start over and, clean mindset, clean slate, start fresh. And they were able to do things in that city that they weren't able to do in the city that they came from? There's a reason for that. And then when you take that in terms of as a nation and you throw on top of that the legacy of chattel slavery here in America on, in particular, black people, that's a pretty heavy burden for some people. If you overcame and became successful, like exceptionally successful, good. Congratulations. And hopefully, you can reach and you can help other people. I know people who do that. I know people who've become very successful and then they help show, and they help show other people how to become as successful or work to become as successful as they are. That does happen. That does happen. But again, everybody ain't gonna be that successful. Quintano says, well, you do have to take you with you, and you could be the problem. You could be, but it's also possible that you're not. It's possible that the whole situation surrounding you is the problem. And then you take yourself out of that situation and put yourself into another situation and you can achieve. And sometimes that lets you see it wasn't me. It was that situation. It was that place. It was forces there. And I ain't talking like some deep spiritual nothing. There are people who work against people. There are people who work against people. I wonder if AFTAB owes student loans. I don't know. I wasn't even talking about AFTAB. Wyatt plays a little clip on his show where AFTAB is saying, basically here in Cincinnati, no matter who you are, no matter what you look like, no matter what you've been through, you can become anything you want to be. something along those lines, which is not true. It's not true. So now it really sounds like I'm throwing water on people's dreams. You have a chance to. Everyone has a chance to. But everyone can be, everybody in Cincinnati can become the mayor. There's only so many mayors that's going to happen. Like, it's not true. It's not true. I'm glad that it worked out for him. But to throw that on other people, like, again, that's saying if you don't achieve, it's because you lazy. People work their ass off and go into all kind of debt and bankruptcy trying to achieve. My phone ringing over here. So yeah, it's just not true. Just not true. It is a good line. It's a good line. And if you've achieved, this be what, I mean, honestly, this is what bothers me sometimes with people who do make it and who do achieve. They think literally everybody else can do what I did. But that would mean everybody else has to have the exact same set of circumstances that you had. The same mentors, the same information poured into them. The same, a lot of people don't like the term luck, but the same luck. The opportunity to meet the same people that you met. Everybody don't have that opportunity. Mine is all hustle, no luck. Okay. You played this sport, and in the process of playing this sport, gave you access to this person, and this person took a liking to you, and then this person showed you the ropes of this thing. Everybody can do that. What about the people who wasn't good at sports? Who didn't have the opportunity to play on the team that you played on, to be in front of that person that then took you under their wing and mentored you? Anybody could have did. No, they couldn't have. You fell into a certain set of circumstances that you took advantage of and, ended up being advantageous for you. And, you learned some things, and then some other situations happened, and you worked hard and put all of that together, stir it up, bake it at 350 for, 10 years. And then you got success. But everybody don't have all those same ingredients. They just ain't working hard enough. They just don't understand. They just didn't, get that lucky break. You know how many people out there can really, 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 really sing? Like, I run into some amazing singers, like absolutely amazing singers. Sing better than anybody you ever heard on a record. But they can't get a record deal. And they try to do stuff and they just can't, because they didn't run into, what's his name? Not Al Davis. That was that's the football guy. The dude who was the head of Arista. Clive Davis. They didn't run into Clive Davis. Clive Davis has never happened to wander into one of their shows. But they sing hard. Sing well. They work hard. They all over the place. He in 3, 4, 5 different bands. He writing his own music. He recording his own stuff. He hustling. He doing everything he can do, but he's never put in a position to be noticed by the people to where he can be elevated. Or she. But Beyonce just worked harder than him. Beyonce just worked harder than her. No. She had opportunities that they didn't have. You can be anything you want to be. There's only one Beyonce. There's only one Taylor Swift. Since for whatever reason we big up in Taylor Swift lately. There's only one Michael Jackson. You know, only one song can be the number one song on a particular chart at a given time. Oh, ain't all the songs number one? Because that's not how it works. Same way, everybody is not a CEO. Everybody don't have, $5-7 million. And it's not necessarily because they just some lazy bum out there doing nothing and blaming the world for their problems. They still working hard and trying. Give them some credit. Give them some credit. Uh, 513-717-5464. What else? What else is going on? And Trump being indicted and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that is what it is. That's gonna play out however it's gonna play out. I do think there's a chance that he might have possibly met his match with this judge in DC. But we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens. I have a feeling he gonna be one of those defiant people who he gonna end up in jail. He gonna end up in jail. Because he gonna think, who is she to tell me what to do? He gonna do something that she said don't do. He gonna threaten some witness or something like that. Try to do it in a slick way. You know how he do. And his slick way ain't even slick. His slick way ain't even slick. Like, what was he saying about the DA in Georgia? Something about she having sex with a gang member or having an affair with a gang member or something like that. But he makes sure to throw in there people say. When he say it. Say he think he being slick. He throwing out this stuff, but he's not taking the responsibility of saying it. He's taking, people say that this DA in Georgia is having sex with a gang member. And so then that way, I want to sue him. What you suing him for? For defamation? Well, he didn't say you were doing it. He said that people say that you're doing it. So he's covered. He be trying to be slick with it. He gonna do the same thing. But this time, I got a fit. It's just a feeling I have. I could be wrong. I got a feeling that this judge in DC ain't gonna fall for that. He gonna put out something to attempt to intimidate some witness. And he gonna pull it's my First Amendment right. I got a right to say whatever I want to say. And I didn't actually threaten nobody. And this judge gonna say, we all know what that means. We know what you were trying to say. I warned you about that. And maybe put him in jail. Find him in contempt. I think it's possible. I'm not saying with 100% certainty that it's gonna happen. Because look, I don't think anybody knows what happened. Even if he's found guilty, what happens? How do they handle that? Legal experts are still debating whether or not they can send the former president to prison, even one of these country club prisons with Secret Service protection. It's up in the air. Nobody knows for sure. This is, as they say, uncharted territory. It's uncharted territory. So we have to see what happens. I don't know. But whatever happens, I mean, going on and on about it now, I don't know that it's helpful. It's a matter of we'll see. Wait and see. And there are a lot of people who really don't understand why people don't like Trump. There's a lot of reasons to not like Trump. There's a lot of reasons to not like the guy. But apparently for another group of people, there's a lot of reasons to love the guy. And I know this sounds crazy. I think I used to throw Raven off when I would say this. I understand how people could like Donald Trump. I do. I understand how people could like a dude who is very successful, who don't seem to give a care about what anybody think about what he does or what he says. A person who's successful, so he does and says what he wants to do, when he wants to say it and do it, and he don't care. He know how to play the game, and he'll tell you, I'm playing the game. That's what I'm doing. I'm playing the game. I understand why a lot of people like the guy. I guess it all depends on, where you stand. It all depends on where you stand. Daryl says, Trump is a silver spoon child who grew up privileged, who now has an ego. But people like that. People like that because he's what other people aspire to be. There's a certain group of people that looks at Trump and says, man, I wish I could be that. Man, I wish I could do that. Man, I wish I could say that. And not worry about getting in trouble for saying it. Not worried about still be able to live the lifestyle I want to live and say whatever the heck I want to say. And I wish I could do that. And there are people who look at that and they're like, I want to be like that guy. And because I want to be like that guy, I like that guy. Yeah, 100% correct. Janice says people live vicariously through Trump. Those who would love to have more power but are scared losers. No doubt. Yep. Trump told Hillary, you mad I don't pay taxes, but you created that loophole. Yeah. So I understand why people like him. Andre says, would the other side feel the same if they had a person who was unapologetic them? Probably. Yeah. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I understand why people like the guy. Now, I think you have to have a little bit of and this is just my opinion, you have to be a little warped. I think you have to be a little warped. But I get it. Anthony says, MFs love all that bravado stuff. Nobody liked George W. until he flew in on an aircraft carrier. Rudy was not liked until he posed during 9/11. Yeah. Marquetta want to know, can I call in? Of course you can. It's a number scrolling at the bottom, always. Crystal says, good afternoon. Checking in from work. Mount Healthy. All right. Logic Slayer says hello to everyone. Janice can't stand him. Oh no, she can't stand him. She bet he stinks. Diane says that judge in DC needs to put him in jail if he keeps testing her. Look, it's gonna take. She's gonna have to have like some really solid legal basis to find him in contempt and put him in jail. Now, I, for one, I don't want to see him go to jail unless he's convicted of a crime. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see him, contempt, and you go to jail, and then that causes all of this stuff. It becomes a distraction. I don't want to see that. I only want to see him go to jail if he's found guilty of a crime punishable by jail time. That's it. I know a lot of y'all think I'm crazy, but I genuinely don't wish jail or prison on anybody, including Donald Trump. Diane says, I do. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people do, but I don't. Anthony says, I wish Dems had a bulldog, not one that tells lies, one that told the truth with a rabid, ferocious attitude. Excuse me. Yeah, we were talking about that. We were talking about that when I was in Alabama. Me and my brother and a couple of my cousins. And we were having that conversation about when they go low, we go high. And one of the things that we were pointing out, or at least, kind of discussing, is that when you see Republicans attack people, that's what they do. It's one of the things that they do. They attack. Democrats don't really attack. Even when Democrats even look like they're attacking, they're not attacking for attack's sake. They're like attacking to point out a hypocrisy, as opposed to, I'm going to attack you. I'm going to call your character into question and just flat out lay out an attack on you. It's not what happens. You'll see Democrats, when they were in office, they did this. And you just attack them. Just attack them. When we were in office, we made these committees fair and, we tried to give everybody. No, just attack them. Stop trying to point out the hypocrisy and just attack. If your attack is fact-based, do it. Because the people who support you, support you. The people who don't support you, don't support you. Who are you trying to win over showing that one side is a hypocrite? You're not gonna, they're hypocrites. They don't care. They don't care. They're going to vote for them anyway. You got to attack for attack's sake. Democrats, I'm only pointing this out to show the hypocrisy of the party. No. They no good, rotten, dirty snakes. If that's what you feel, say it. That's what they would say about you. My other says, I've always said Dems are too effing soft. 45 is giving them so much ammo and they aren't using it. I don't know why they don't use it. I just hope he gets the same justice that the average black man gets. I hope, and again, I know, people be hating on me when I say this. I hope he get a fair trial. I hope he get a fair trial. And I hope if they can prove the case and he's found guilty, then I hope he gets an appropriate punishment. But if they don't prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt, I hope he's found not guilty. And I hope that because that's what I would like to see happen if I were ever in trouble. Let me grab the line. Marquetta.
E-Man, are you all right? So lightheaded?
I am actually a little lightheaded, but I'm all right.
You got a fan or some ventilation down there? I don't want to be too long and you be passed out. Would be my fault.
There is a fan and some ventilation, but if I pass out, just keep talking. I'll wake up eventually.
I'll be concerned about you. So I wanted to talk first about this whole Democrat versus Republican thing. And you can go find Barack Obama saying the worst regret of his presidency was going into Libya. Once they destabilized Libya, killed off Gaddafi, they brought slavery back. Literal slavery, open air market slave trade came back to that area because it used to be Libya would stave off the migrants coming from Africa to the United Kingdom under Gaddafi's leadership. Once Gaddafi was killed, the migrants was just running out of Africa as fast as they can. And there's a lot of Arab, Middle Eastern racism against dark-skinned Africans in Africa. So as they fled to Algeria, as they fled to Libya and all these other places, they were getting captured by bounty hunters and being sold for $200. That was Hillary Clinton's idea. Hillary Clinton did an interview and laughed and bragged about how they got Gaddafi, they took him out, but Gaddafi had really never done anything wrong. When you talk about today's environment, you're looking at Biden, nobody is talking about Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden wrote a book. He did a press junket. He went on every talk show, Bill Maher. He went on all these talk shows talking about his love for crack. How much he just loved crack. Crack was that drug that really just took him. He laughed about it. Sure, he went to rehab a few times, but he always came back to crack. He tried cocaine, but his preferred was crack. He got veneers over his teeth because of the rot from crack and whatever other drugs that he was using. Hunter Biden is literally a criminal who, under Biden's, what was that law he made where if you had crack cocaine, you was going to jail for the rest of your life? His son would be in prison under that law, but they can't even get his son charges right, and nobody is talking about this.
Hold on. Let me ask you this. Why do you think no one is talking about it?
Because we fooled by Democrats. We think they're the good guy. We thinking these people are on our side.
Oh no, you really think that's why?
I mean, plus, who controls the media? It's the same thing. When I started calling the buzz, it was because of the Iraq War. The Iraq War was illegal. George W. Bush and all the hanging chads in the world, even back then, we were saying this election is wrong. It's fraud. Back then, all the black House of Representatives came, to Congress, and we need to recount these votes. And Al Gore said, sit down. You have no power here. We have counted the votes, and it's George W. Bush. After that, 9/11. And the shock to our community was me saying Bin Laden didn't blow up the towers. That had to be an inside job. 9/11 was an inside job. Oh, she a conspiracy theorist. 20 years later, they still have a 9/11 commission. It's the same thing today. You got these crackhead prices going out to the Ukraine for what? For what? What taxpayer dollar is necessary in the Ukraine? You can give them 12 billion, 84 billion. We don't bat an eye. Black America is mad at Trump, but you're not mad at Biden?
Who's not?
Wait, hold on. I'm not saying us as a whole. I'm saying us as a group collective, we have never organized ourselves behind our own Black identified issues within the United States of America and
Well,
go to
hold on,
both the
Marquetta.
Democrats and Republicans. Go ahead,
Marquetta.
I'm sorry.
Marquetta, let me ask you this. First, let's talk a little bit about Hunter Biden. Actually, a
hmm
little less about Hunter Biden, but the reason behind the conversation surrounding Hunter Biden.
Okay.
All right. Hunter Biden's a criminal. Apparently don't pay his taxes, crackhead, all of that kind of stuff. And he should go to
Guns
jail.
under disability. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he should go to jail. Well, actually, that might get thrown out because there was a decision made basically saying that law in and of itself is not constitutional in one of the circuit courts, I believe. So that might end up going to the Supreme Court, and that guns under disability might actually go away based on case law. But even setting that aside, the dude's a criminal. But in your mind, why should we be talking about not the president, not a candidate for some public office, but a citizen named Hunter Biden? Why should that be top of everyone's mind?
Nepotism, influence. You know, when you have a father who is in a high power position, we saw it with the Trumps. We saw Ivanka able to leverage her father's position as president to get deals in China and India to market her products at a cheaper rate. The same thing.
But what I'm saying is we've been okay with the nepotism and all of that kind of stuff, like since
so there's a
forever.
literal charge against the president of the United States and Hunter Biden that they conspired. He was the big guy on phone calls when Hunter Biden, who has no degree nowhere to have to do with electricity, to have to do that, he was calling people saying, I got my daddy right here. We waiting on that $5 million you said you was gonna spend, and you ain't sent it yet.
Hold on, let me ask you this. And it's a legit question. You say the man is a crackhead, right?
Oh, crackhead. That's what he said.
All right.
That's what he said. That's what he said. He wrote a book about it, and he on Bill Maher.
Now, what proof?
Go ahead.
Because this becomes the question. And like, this is the simple question to answer. What proof do they actually have that Joe Biden had anything to do with that? Because, you know, a crackhead would say whatever. So are we saying now, whatever a crackhead say, we believe him?
Well, that's why they have a court of law, and that's what's being disputed in court right now.
No.
That's what you said.
No, that's
Listen,
not true.
Brother, it is a case right now. Jack Smith has filed a case, and they are saying that Joe Biden, and they're going to actually, there's a case coming against the president for treason.
Marquetta, are you saying, because I got to look it up, are you saying that there is a criminal case against Joe Biden for being, he's been charged or indicted for?
Yes, there are members in Congress right now who are looking to impeach Joe Biden, the president of the United States, based on his business dealings with his son and his brother, because they were selling his presidential influence.
That's different. I asked a legit simple question. That's what it is. No. So he's been indicted for a crime.
Here, let me look it up. Let me pull it up for you so I can read it properly, because I'm just talking to you.
Please do.
But the point that I'm getting at is Democrats.
No, hold on, Marquetta. Because, see, to me, I think that's what people are looking for. And saying that the Republicans in Congress are considering impeaching him, which impeaching would technically be like the charging / indictment process. If that hasn't happened yet, which is why I asked the question. If you can say, look, there is a pending case in a criminal court that Joe Biden broke these laws, I'm 100% team impeach Joe Biden. Once
3 hours ago,
he's found guilty.
I'm gonna put it in y'all's chat too.
All right.
3 hours ago, 4 articles of impeachment filed against Joe Biden. Okay, House opens impeachment probe of President Biden. The one I'm gonna drop is from NPR. This started June 22nd. Now we can say, oh, the bad Republicans. The point I'm getting at is Republican nor Democrat is on your side as a.
Well, we all know that.
Oh no, we don't. Because I'm listening to everybody saying Trump this and Trump that. when Biden is the one
But
who
wait a
is in
minute.
power,
But
and
Marquetta,
Biden is the one who is.
Marquetta, are
You're
they
not letting
are
me
they
talk to you
are they lying?
about what?
Trump.
Well, if
No,
what did he do?
are they lying?
They're saying he incited. They're saying that he incited a riot or that he tried to stop the peaceful transfer of power through a Twitter post,
Uh-huh.
through him having a
Among
campaign
other
type
things.
speech and riling up people
Among
to
other
not
things.
accept the transfer of power, denying votes and whatnot. Okay, I get it. Biden just is criminal.
But that's not, hold on. See, those are two different
So
conversations.
it's
Just like when,
the
look,
resolution.
when you were talking about Hunter Biden, that's why I wanted to focus on Hunter Biden. Now, when you talk about Trump, let's focus on Trump. When you talk about Joe Biden, let's focus on Joe Biden. Conflating all
Let's
of
go
those,
after
because I
Joe.
think if we all understand, which I believe we do, we all understand that the
Mhm.
Republicans nor the Democrats have your black interests at heart. We all understand that.
Period.
Right.
Period.
So if people say Trump ain't no good, why argue? If the man ain't no good, like if what they're saying is factual, why argue about it? Say, yep, you're right. Just like when you said Hunter Biden's a crackhead, I wasn't like, no, he ain't no crackhead. No, why? But what about so and so? No, he's a crackhead. What? There's no argument
Okay.
there. He's a crackhead.
So here's what the article reads. And I'm just reading this part. I posted the link. You can read the links for yourself. The abrupt move by Boebert threatened to derail other House action and divided House Republicans. After several meetings with key groups across the House GOP conference, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy negotiated with Boebert and other conservatives who wanted to move impeach now to instead refer their measure to the relevant House panels, Homeland Security and House Judiciary. Here's the point. Several GOP members stressed this follows the Speaker's pledge to follow regular order, in contrast with the process Democrats used for the second Trump impeachment. So they're saying the same rules that you used for Trump to impeach him should be applied to Biden. And they're saying, no, we don't have the same rules for Biden. And what I'm saying is, and I've always said this as Black people, we should not be cheering neither Democrat or Republicans as if they are heroes when they are robber baron criminals.
That's what
and
I
you have
said.
so many when you have so many examples. I mean, you can go look up the show with him and Bill Maher, and Hunter Biden talks about his time in the Ukraine.
But again,
and
you're
how
still
he got
talking about Hunter Biden.
because just like Ivanka and Jared Kushner had power through the office of Donald Trump and were able to yield his power in order to get business deals and influence in Israel, India, and China. Hunter Biden is no different in Ukraine.
And
They are
Marquetta,
all selling
here
influence.
is the part that I think a whole lot of Americans are waiting for. Like, look, let's accept Hunter Biden used his name and Joe Biden's influence to do stuff that was at best sketchy and at worst criminal and maybe even what's the word when you do traitorous or whatever? Yeah, treasonous. All right. So let's accept that just as a fact, okay? Because I don't have a reason to argue about Hunter Biden. The dude is shady again at best. The thing that people are looking for, and this is why I keep asking everybody who wants to bring up Hunter Biden, where
they bring up Jared and what's her name, Ivanka.
Where?
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No one tried to impeach Trump because of them. So my question is, where is, and my eyes are wide open and my mind is wide open to accept it. Where is the proof that Joe Biden basically told Hunter Biden to do it? Where is the proof of that? That's all I'm asking.
So it takes Joe Biden to tell his son to smoke crack and give billions of dollars to the Ukraine. What are you looking for?
Because that's on Hunter Biden. My question is, people are saying, hey, let's take it out on, because Hunter Biden is a criminal, let's impeach Joe Biden. And I'm saying, no, let's not do that. But if Joe Biden, like let's take the crack thing, right? To simplify it. So if you say
Mhm.
Hunter Biden smoked crack, which is a crime, let's impeach Joe Biden. I'm like, no. Now show me that Joe bought the crack for Hunter, and then let's impeach Joe. But
But
you don't
that's not
say
even what I'm saying.
because Hunter smoked crack, let's impeach Joe. So if you're saying like, look, they keep, oh, he's the head of the Biden crime family. Okay, show us some proof that he is the head of the Biden crime family, not just because it's his son, but some proof that he did something wrong. And then I'll be like, impeach Joe Biden.
Okay, so that's what the impeachment hearings are for. And that's when you bring out whatever proof you have against the president to show
And,
that he has done something against
and
these
that's what people
articles
are
of
waiting
impeachment.
on.
Now let me say this. The reason it's important to know about Hunter Biden is because we are financing a war with NATO in the backyard of Russia with Ukraine. There is no connection to Joe Biden and the Ukraine. However, the Ukraine was a very corrupt political system over there for years. When Biden Jr., Hunter Biden, went and got the job at Barista, and he started making $50,000 a month as some sort of consultant, even though he didn't know anything about energy.
Mm-hmm.
It was during that time that they say, or that they are saying, that he used his father to say, hey, if you get rid of this special prosecutor in the Ukraine with us, then we would have more power to influence elections and we would have more power over the politicians. They say that Hunter Biden called his daddy up, and Hunter Biden with his father negotiated money back and forth so that when he became president, now you got all of these insane dollars going to the Ukraine, and the Ukraine doesn't have an American interest. So it's all about your social circle.
Right, but
And it does go back to Ivanka, and it goes back to Jared. And quit saying Marquetta like you're mad at me.
I'm saying Marquetta like I want you to listen. Like we're not having a conversation. I want to have a conversation. So again, you kept stressing, thankfully, they say. But they can say anything. Where is any sort of proof of it? And that is...
Here, I'm going to drop another link for you at checkyourfact.com because, I like to read. And here's some evidence for you all, because that's what I be saying about the Republicans versus the Democrats. We take anything they say on face value about Republicans, but we're not doing the same thing with these Democrats. Democrats are railroading our tax dollars to a whole nother country for a war that will never benefit us. A war they're not even really involved in. NATO is not even involved in. It is literally America shoring up war
we know this.
Payments to the Ukraine. Okay, why? And everybody keeps saying there's lack of proof. There's not lack of proof. It's out there. He is in media. I'm dropping you the links. And you can also research. The only thing you have to do is research Hunter Biden barista salary. You can look up Hunter Biden barista Ukraine and Joe Biden explain. So what is your argument?
I don't have an argument. I'm asking a simple question, which I think is
what is the simple question? All of that is tied.
If you would listen to me, you would hear the simple question.
Emmanuel,
it's a really simple question.
If your brother got a job and he became a Mason, and he taught you how to be a Mason, and y'all got a job at the same place, right? Y'all both Masons.
We're both Masons.
But somebody on the outside who was also a Mason couldn't get that job at the same level, at the same rate. But because you and your brother are brothers, you look at the guy on the outside and say, hey, we're going to help you come in. And he said, well, I don't really have the skill. And you say to your brother, well, he said he got the money. And since we already in here and we got the clout and you the supervisor and I'm the manager, if he give me $50, we can let him come in together. That's what nepotism is. And to dismiss all of this that's coming out against these Democrats while they're pushing that LGBTQIA stuff.
We're not having a conversation again. Marquetta, I know what nepotism is. But see, the question becomes, this other guy can say that I did something to get him on when I maybe didn't. So the question becomes, what proof do you have that Emanuel or his brother did something wrong to help this guy? Just because he said so is not proof. So that's what I'm asking. Where is I'm legit asking, not
And I'm legit
innuendo,
telling
not
you,
they
and I'm
said.
legit telling
Where
you
is
that's
the
what these
actual
criminal
proof?
trials that you're watching right now that media is not talking about, that even though we're talking about it kind of argumentative. We're not really talking about facts. We're just talking about the thought of
I'm
the
trying to
possibility
talk
of
about
it not being
facts.
true. And I'm dropping you so many links in your chat. You should probably click on one
You are
and read up.
first. I can't click on the links in the restream, and
And
you're
you in
not.
that room with all that
Hold
gas.
on,
I mean,
and you're not actually dropping facts. You're saying, because here's the way it worked, to my knowledge, in Congress, right? Lauren
mhm.
Boebert can tomorrow introduce articles of impeachment against anybody for any reason. And then, they have some hearings and they have a vote. But it doesn't mean that there's proof of anything. So to say because Lauren Boebert or some Republican congressman from Florida introduced articles of impeachment, that means that there is any shred of proof of anything. And so again, what I think people are doing, imagine it's you, Marquetta, for just a moment. Imagine I say, Marquetta, I get in trouble for something, smoking crack. And I say, Marquetta bought the crack for me. And you like, I ain't buy a damn thing. And I'm like, Marquetta bought the crack. So then they begin to investigate you. But because I said so, everybody accept it as a fact. Wouldn't you say, Marquetta, hold on, somebody show me any sort of proof that I bought the crack? And if the only proof they can show you is, well, he said you did, wouldn't you be like, that ain't no proof?
But that's why you have court cases. That's why you have impeachment hearings. That's why Hunter Biden is in court
So then
now.
you
Attorney
don't
General
actually.
Garland appoints
So then you
a
don't
Hunter
actually
Biden
have any
special
proof.
counsel.
That's right. It's Hunter Biden. You don't have
But
any proof that Joe Biden. I'm not even saying Joe Biden didn't. All I'm
the
asking
article
for
reads
is
like this:
show some
President
proof.
Joe Biden's role as the brand for Sun Hunter's lucrative international influence peddling may have benefited him directly, according to mounting evidence from the first son's so-called abandoned laptop. New bank records released by the House Oversight Committee show that the president's family and allies hauled in a staggering $20 million from foreign sources in Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, and China.
What about
some of
the
whom
president?
met personally with Biden while he served as vice president.
What
on
about the
Friday.
president? What did Joe see? All of that
That's
stuff
why I
you
just
read.
read the president. It just said the president also received money, this $20 million from this lucrative international influence peddling scheme of his sons. They're saying Joe Biden got a piece of that money. They're saying Joe Biden was
so
aware that his
and my
son was giving him money because he was peddling his influence.
Again, point me to the look, I want to be on your, if Joe Biden did something wrong, show me. I want to be on that side. But just like with Trump, I'm not willing right now to say, with all of the evidence that they claim they got, I'm not willing to say Trump is guilty of anything. I said earlier in the show, I hope he get a fair. I hope he get a fair trial.
A fair trial.
And I hope if they prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he's guilty, and that he get the punishment that he deserves. And if they don't prove by a reasonable doubt that he's guilty, then I hope he's found not guilty and they leave him alone. I said that earlier in the show. Why is it crazy to say the same thing about Joe Biden? Where is that's my only question I've been asking over and over. And you keep saying
United States. All the presidents of the United States of America deserve a Nuremberg trial for crimes against humanity, war crimes,
I agree,
influence peddling, and
but
robbery.
with regard to
all
Hunter
of them,
Biden,
from Joe Biden,
but
all
with regard
down,
to
all
Hunter
of them
Biden's crimes,
the
shouldn't
point
we
is,
be saying
the point is Joe Biden is a
the
criminal.
point is, with regard
His
to
son
Hunter Biden's crimes, shouldn't we be saying, show us some proof that Joe Biden
actually
go
through it again.
had a hand in that?
Okay, so let me read it to you again. I just got the
Oh my
article. You can read this for yourself, and I hope you can breathe through, because I don't want you down taking more time to your show than you need. House investigators have identified 5 foreign flows of questionable cash in their examination of the Hunter Biden network of more than 20 shell companies. Now, keep in mind, they're saying that Joe Biden got like $5 million
Who is
out for the
they?
money
Who
that
is
I'm about to
they?
talk.
Who is
The
they that are
House
saying this?
Judiciary Committee, the investigators, Attorney General Garrett Lynn. How do y'all argue and not read?
I'm not,
It
no,
says
no. You
8.1 million
hold
from
on, stop,
China
stop.
to
You're
the
telling me
energy
that
company
Merrick
in
Garland,
2007. So
you're telling me
This
that
happened
Merrick
when he was
Garland,
vice
you're
president
telling me
and
that
president.
Merrick Garland has said that Joe
Oh my
Biden
God.
got $8 million from a criminal enterprise. That Merrick Garland said that.
That's what's going on. That's what they are investigating. And they can't prove
Again,
it, like you're saying, until they
exactly.
have hearings.
But
And the first hearing
Merrick
they're going
Garland
to
didn't
have
say that.
is for Hunter.
So
After they get Hunter
Just
cleared
so you know.
away, they'll be able to take the impeachment, those 4 articles of impeachment that was just released 3 hours ago. They're going to be able to take that to the court.
Did not say
The
that.
point is that I'm making, brother, if you can hear me out on this again, Black people, stop caping for Republicans and Democrats. They are both the same coin, 2 different sides.
We've agreed
And
to
when
that.
no, you have not.
Yes,
Because
I have.
there's no way that you can justify, even without Hunter Biden, it's criminal for you to take taxpayer dollars in the tunes of billions of dollars to Ukraine and engage in a war that we didn't even say was a war. But they did the same thing in Iraq with G.W. Bush.
Look,
You did the same
again,
thing with Obama. And
if
Black
they have,
people,
if
when
they
we
have
talk
any
about
sort of
voting, we don't
evidence
talk
or
about
any
issues.
sort of proof, then
If
I'm
you read any of
100%
the
open
things
to
that I
listen
dropped,
to it.
if you can
100%.
just read,
But the idea,
I swear to God.
you're reading that Merrick Garland has come out and said, if you really just think about what you just said, Merrick Garland.
I know what I'm saying. That's what's going on.
Garland,
the Ukraine Burisma payments was going to Joe Biden.
Hold on, you keep
That's what they're
trying
saying.
to overtalk me. Merrick Garland, I'm going to tell you right now, Merrick Garland did not come out and state that Joe Biden received $8 million as a part of a criminal enterprise. That's not true.
Okay.
He didn't say that.
Man.
He didn't.
Okay, man.
Okay.
I'm not gonna argue. The point that I'm making is they are criminals, and none of them your heroes. None of them are here to save Black people. None of them, not Republicans, not Democrats, not Hunter, not Trump. None of them are on your side. Get on your own side. Organize for your own issues. Stop trying to make it like Republicans is good and Democrats are bad when they're both doing bad, terrible things around the world.
We agree.
Terrible things to domestic policy and foreign policy. There's no reason for anybody to cap for the innocence of Trump or Biden. They're all war criminals. They all deserve a Nuremberg trial. And it's
I would
a lot
probably
more.
Agree with that too.
And truth is stranger than fiction. It's a lot more going on than what it is.
More than likely.
And it's the last dig I'm gonna take at Joe Biden. You can look this one up too. His daughter Ashley said she lost her diary. Some people said, we found your diary. The FBI said, give me the diary. Ashley came out and said, yeah, that's my diary. Okay. In this diary, she said her father made her take showers with him. So there's an influence there, in my opinion, of that whole policy towards the TQIA plus, because the TQIA plus is allowing children to be at gay pride parades around old naked men. And that's a whole North American man-boy love association political agenda. Those policies have been being pushed through Canada for a long time. And I'm not talking about LGB. I'm talking about TQIA plus. But it's Biden who is spearheading that. It's Biden who is pushing them flags and hanging up those flags instead of American flags. That's Biden as a presidential topic, as a presidential point, before anything gay rights, transgender rights, pansexual rights. That's coming from Biden. And I would only say you would have to think, if his own daughter said she was uncomfortable in the showers with her father, that he would have a little tinkle in his step. That's just my opinion. And I'm never mad. It's facts over feelings all day with me. I'm really into the fact that so many
I'm
black
not sure
people
about that.
seem to be, black people are overwhelmed with love for the American politicals. And I just be like, whether it was me arguing with y'all about them invading Iraq irresponsibly,
All
wrong, and
right.
criminally, and so many people saying, no, in
I got
particular,
it.
LW saying
I got to
this was
run.
the right thing to do. Whether it was me saying, about femicide and I'm some man hating lesbian, and now you got politicians and everybody
I've
else
never
coming
called
out
you that.
saying, oh, we do have a problem. It's going to be the same thing with this. 20 years from now, you're going to see all of this come out the
Mar-
same way they did with 9/11.
Marquetta?
Eventually, the truth will come out. You have a good day, get
All right.
out that room because them pubes get into your head.
All right. That's Marquetta. And again, Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. I had to tell this to a few people because some of y'all just not hearing this. Some of y'all not hearing this. And I don't understand how y'all not hearing this. Joe Biden is a person. Hunter Biden is a different person. They're two different people. If Hunter Biden did something wrong, I hope he gets the punishment that he deserves. If he's found guilty, I hope he, gets punished. All right. So then you say, well, Joe Biden did some stuff. And a whole lot of us were people like, why y'all defending Joe Biden? Why y'all defending Joe? Nobody's defending Joe. Well, I can't say nobody. I'm not defending Joe Biden. I'm asking what is really a simple question. Show me some proof. Show me some proof. Now, hold on. I'm not what is it that they be calling me? Whatever for the Democrats. I'm not that when I say Trump should get a fair trial. When I say Trump should get a fair trial, all of those people's like, yeah, see, yeah. When I say, where's the proof that Joe Biden did any of this stuff? My head is in the sand. My mind is made up. You can't change a mind that's already made up. And I'm a clown and I'm blocking for the Democrats and I'm this and I'm that. Simple question. Which, shouldn't that be the question? Hold on. Y'all want Donald Trump to get a fair trial, but y'all want Joe Biden impeached with no evidence? That makes sense. That makes sense. Where's the evidence that Joe Biden had anything to do with it? Well, his son said, my dad, the crackhead, in order to get money, said that his influential father was a part of a scheme. So because the crackhead said it, it's a fact now? Shouldn't it be some other evidence? Oh, it is other evidence. What's the other evidence? Lauren Boebert filed articles of impeachment. That's the evidence? That's not evidence. Come on, what's the real evidence? Well, it's on the laptop that you ain't never seen. And the laptop may have evidence on it. But how is it wrong to ask for evidence? See, all y'all who trying to twist people and make them become Republicans. I'm not saying this is what Marquetta is doing. But all y'all who trying to twist people and make Wyatt, come on, you in the legal system. Where's the evidence? Hunter Biden is the bag man. He could never get foreign position, $83,000 a month, $5 million. Yeah, Joe innocent. Where's the evidence against Joe? So you want Joe Biden impeached with no evidence? Come on, officer of the court. That's how we think legal proceedings should go now? Well, it kind of makes sense. I ain't got no evidence of it, but convicting. That's what we want. That's what we shooting for in the justice system. Hold on, but if I say, well, it don't matter if they got no evidence, Trump should be convicted. Oh, I'm a horrible, horrible guy. Oh, this guy, he just on the plantation. He on the plantation. They can't get off the plantation. Black people won't let it go. Black people, Republicans don't like you, blah, blah, blah. But y'all can say, well, he couldn't have got that without Joe. So Joe had to have something to do with it. Where's the evidence? It's somewhere. We just ain't seen it yet. Oh, that's right. It's suppressed. It's suppressed. Well, hold on. You tell me. And I'm not in the legal system. Not in the legal system. I'm just some guy. You tell me, as an officer of the court, you go to a trial. They're supposed to present evidence, and they say, well, we got the evidence, but they won't let us see it. You want the jury to say guilty. If they are suppressing the evidence, somebody should see it. Somebody still got to present the evidence, and that's all people are asking. Present the evidence. Show me. Show me. Y'all mad because I'm saying I'm open to see and view the evidence. Show me. How dare he want to actually see evidence? Come on. You know that a Republican filing articles of impeachment is not evidence. Wait, I'm making an assumption here. Let me do that in the form of a question. Do you know that a Republican introducing articles of impeachment is not evidence? Do you know that? Or do you actually believe that a Republican introducing articles of impeachment is evidence? Do you? How do you show evidence that's suppressed? So then how do you see evidence that's suppressed? Wherever you saw it, you should be able to show it to me. And it should be verifiable evidence. But what you're saying is, okay, we don't have no evidence, but he's still guilty. Well, we got evidence, but it's suppressed. Again, let me ask you, in a court of law, evidence that no one sees should be enough to find somebody guilty? Because that's what you're saying. Well, yeah, they got evidence. What's the evidence? Well, can't nobody see it. Can't nobody see it. Can I see it? No, you can't see it. Did you see it? Nah, I didn't see it. But he guilty based on evidence that nobody saw. Made up minds are hard to talk to. No, just tell me the evidence. Like, I know this is crazy. I know this is crazy because it feels like super crazy to me. Kelly Prather did that PPP loan thing, and they go to court, and they're like, prosecution, go. And the prosecution is like, well, we got evidence, but it's all been suppressed. We rest. Defense, is Kelly Prather going to be found guilty? Oh, no, but you should believe it because the prosecution said that they got it. The jury is like, show us some evidence. Well, it's being suppressed. See, you got your mind made up, and it's hard to talk to you with your mind made up. Show me some evidence. I don't like her. I want to find her guilty. Show me some evidence. No, you already got your mind made up. No, just show me some evidence. I'll find her guilty if you show me some evidence. I ain't got no evidence, but your mind already made up. They suppressed the evidence. Then how you gonna find somebody guilty with no evidence? If it's so suppressed, how do you know about it? Sound like the other person's mind is already made up when they can say, well, we got evidence. What's the evidence? Well, it's suppressed. Can't nobody see it. All I'm asking is, What's the evidence? What's the evidence? Evidence ain't just, he said. Well, he was on a phone call, and on the phone call, he said, my daddy is on the other side of the room. That's all the evidence you need. What's the evidence? David Denise still talking about impeachment. And impeachment, filing articles of impeachment is not evidence. That's a charge. What's the evidence? Right, Dante, the evidence is they said it. What's the evidence? What is the evidence? Like, this is not hard. We want to know. I can guarantee you, everybody on this chat, be they Democrat or Republican, if you show some true evidence, not that somebody filed articles of impeachment, some true evidence. Again, filing articles of impeachment is not evidence. At best, that's a charge. I keep trying to bring it home so it makes sense to y'all who just want black people to, turn to the Republican Party. And again, I'm not an officer of the court. Inquiry of impeachment is what's needed. That pulls all evidence forward. But how can you say you got evidence if you ain't even got the evidence? You need the inquiry of impeachment to get the evidence. So what evidence do you have? Not the inquiry of impeachment. You know that's not maybe I'm doing this wrong. Is there actual evidence that Joe Biden committed the crime with Hunter Biden? Not war crimes like all presidents. Because y'all the ones keep bringing up Hunter Biden. Why we ain't talking about Hunter Biden? Because Hunter Biden ain't the daggone president. He ain't running for nothing. When you're talking politics, you typically talk about the politicians. So do y'all have actual evidence? Oh, Anthony, now you about to get in trouble. If that's the standard, Jim Jordan should be in jail. People said he knew about them kids being molested at college. Right. Would y'all say he should be in jail? Should Jim Jordan be in jail? Because people said he knew. That's the same evidence that y'all presenting. I'm not saying no evidence exists. Again, I'm open to hearing the evidence. But shouldn't there be some? What is the evidence? Again, you keep posting these long things, Marquetta, but this is not evidence. Again, this is what somebody said. You're asking for evidence that's clearly been suppressed. Then how do you get a conviction if you don't have evidence? Because that's what y'all saying to the people. Y'all saying to the people, look, y'all keep blocking for Joe Biden. Joe Biden is guilty. And they say, well, what's the evidence? You say, well, the evidence is suppressed. But we still want y'all to think he's guilty, even though we have no evidence. That doesn't make sense. Like, I can't believe y'all don't understand how little sense that makes. I'm asking, I want to believe y'all. Because, to some degree, I'm a cynic. And it would, fit my mindset to believe that Joe Biden told Hunter Biden, go smoke that crack, and then go to the Ukraine and extort them. All I'm asking for is some evidence to make me be able to say that is in some way factual. And y'all mad. Y'all mad because the people who want to believe the worst about Joe Biden is actually asking for evidence of the worst about Joe Biden. And y'all mad because y'all don't have no evidence. So people are still saying, well, until you get some evidence, I can't believe that I can't just accept as a fact that he did it. Well, but the evidence is being suppressed. How do you not see it's being suppressed? If it's suppressed, how did you see it? The same way you saw it. Show it to me. Wyatt says your argument is ridiculous. Wyatt, call in. Call in. Call in. Again, what y'all saying is Kelly Prather went to trial and they said we have no evidence, but we still want the jury to find her guilty. Where is the evidence? All I'm asking for is evidence. I'll believe it with evidence, even flimsy evidence. I'll believe it. I mean, I don't not believe it. I actually do believe it. But I can't say, just like I believe Trump did all of that stuff he's accused of doing. But I refuse to sit here and say, find Trump guilty in the absence of evidence because I believe it. Show me some evidence. And then I'll say, find him guilty. You still keep putting from the articles of impeachment, and I don't understand how you don't understand this. Articles of impeachment is not evidence. Articles of impeachment, really to a large degree, is just a political document that you can put whatever it is you want to say. That is not evidence. That is not evidence. Articles of impeachment are not evidence. Preston says it's called classified intelligence. Well, if it's so classified, how did they get it? It's so classified from Democrats, but all the Republicans seen it. I'm not saying, but I believe Biden is more than likely did some bad stuff. But where's the evidence? Because I believe Trump did some bad stuff too. But I still want a fair trial for Trump. Y'all saying skip the fair trial. There's some suppressed evidence, so impeaching. That does not make sense. I just want these. All I want is for them to just admit. Stephanie says at this time, and this is really all I'm saying. At this time, no evidence because no one has brought any concrete evidence to prove he needs to be impeached. But they arguing me, well, yeah, but it's just suppressed. You don't see this evidence that's invisible? How do you not see this evidence? What is it? Well, it's suppressed, so can't nobody see it. I don't understand. I don't understand, y'all. And I want to, I believe. Wyatt says, I'm not sure people are saying that. It's exactly what Wyatt, that's what you saying. You saying there's evidence, but it's suppressed. Where is it? Well, it's suppressed, so can't nobody see it. Then how do you know it exists? We got evidence that ain't nobody seen. Just show the evidence. And I know, Marquetta, you keep posting these articles of impeachment, but those are not evidence. Articles of impeachment are not evidence. Again, at best, they're just the charge. They're the charge. I want to believe. I want to believe. I do. Show me. I'm begging. Show me. Show me the evidence, and I'll be like, get him out. Get him out. He bought crack for the crackhead. He sent him over there to bribe those Ukrainians and those Chinese people, and he took some off the top and put it in his bank account, and he's guilty. Get him out and prosecute him. But how is it unreasonable to say, okay, but before I go there, show me some evidence that he did that? Or your mind is made up. No, it's not. My mind is completely open to hearing it. Yeah, it's facts over feelings. Except for when, we don't actually have facts. We go on our feelings. Cocaine in the White House, and he's still capping for those MFs. You got proof that Joe Biden brought the cocaine in here? Some proof of something? Some proof of something? Show me some proof of something. I want to be against Joe Biden as much as anybody else. Show me some proof of something. Of something. Please. And it's capping or caping or whatever. If all you're asking for is evidence. Again, I haven't said Joe Biden didn't do anything wrong. I haven't said he wouldn't do anything wrong. I haven't even said I don't believe that he did anything wrong. All I said was, show me some evidence. That's it. That's it. And Mr. or Miss, or whatever your pronoun is, anonymous, bro or sister or chick or whatever. You want to keep throwing out names, and you know what I'm saying? I'm a house Negro, and I'm a this and I'm a that. You ain't even man or woman enough to own up to who you are. Who are you? You an anonymous little punk on the thing, and I only say punk because you afraid to be seen and known. What kind of real man is afraid to be seen and known, or real woman, or real whatever you are? You clearly can't argue facts or ideas, so all you got is to hurl insults and names and stuff. And I only point you out to show to everybody, this is a person with nothing. Like, not even, can't even stand behind whatever his ideas are. This person wants you to be a Republican. That's what they want. Whoever, man, woman, black, white, whatever. They want you to be a Republican at all costs. You're an anonymous, whatever. In essence, you're no one. You're no one. Not even like a real idea. You're no one. At least Wyatt, Marquetta, they got the courage to put their name behind whatever they say. You're nothing. You're nothing. But again, evidence. Show some evidence. I don't understand how that's bad, but show some evidence. Show us some evidence. All right, now he just picking fights with people. All right, there we go. All right, I got to do this. Nah, we not doing that. We not doing that. But somebody make it make sense to me. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. But look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe we need a new justice system where you don't have to have evidence, like actual evidence, present actual evidence to find people guilty, or present actual evidence to, maybe I'm off base. We can move to a point where all we need is a charge. That's it. He was charged with a crime. He's guilty. Take him to jail. That's all we need. I hope we don't move there, even though those of you who want us to all become Republicans want us to move there. Just know we not fooled. Why are these males on here acting crazy? Well, you don't know that that's a male. Go to the page and you'll see it's just an anonymous page created just for the purposes of trying to convince black people to become Republicans. I'm always leery of that. Like, how I know this is a black person? How do I know this ain't just some, white guy Republican operative? I believe you're not informed on the evidence that's being held and suppressed. If you knew, you wouldn't continue to ask, where's the evidence? I'm assuming you meant wouldn't. Have you seen the evidence? Like concrete evidence? Wyatt? I know it's a legit, I'm just asking a legitimate question. Have you personally seen concrete evidence that Joe Biden told Hunter Biden to go to the Ukraine and China, extort them for money, and give him a cut? Maybe that he bought him crack or bought him prostitutes or anything. Have you personally seen any of this evidence? I'm asking. You can say no, you can say yes. It's a simple question. I think it's a simple question. Follow the money. Shell companies is enough for me. So anybody who got a shell company, you say they're guilty of whatever crimes their son commits. So shell company. Okay. All right. Well, okay, at least we see where you stand. That's not reasonable to me. To me, it's not evidence enough to me. But all right. So if you have a shell company, Wyatt believes you're guilty. Okay. Look, I accept it. You got a right to your beliefs. I, on the other hand, kind of would want to still see some evidence. Y'all still arguing with, hold on, I'll go in after the show. We're not going to have to deal with him again. I'm going to go in after the show. And you know, I don't block people. But every once in a while, I have to make an exception. So after today, we won't deal with that guy. And I'll just start blocking. I'm going to tell you, if you are anonymous and you come on calling people names and all that kind of stuff, trying to pick fights with my listeners and all that stuff, you'll be out of here. You'll be out of here. All right. Why y'all so angry fighting with each other over white folk, politics? You still a powerless group with no economy. Only a couple people in here trying to start fights. Marquetta, we talked for 30 minutes. Not once did I threaten you or call you a name. I asked you for evidence. You keep presenting those daggone articles of impeachment as evidence, but I still don't want to fight you. I ain't calling you, what did you say, a man-hating lesbian or any of those type of names. I'm not doing it. I won't do it. We don't agree on what you perceive to be evidence. And I haven't seen any. But again, I'm not even sure because you saying, look at the self-hatred we have for each other. You're assuming that the anonymous person is black. I stopped making that assumption a while ago. I don't actually believe that's a black person. I genuinely believe that's another person. I believe it's probably a white man, but I believe it's a different person trying to create havoc and spin y'all and make y'all become Republicans. But all right, y'all, it's daggone 6 o'clock. I got to get out of here. I spent an hour asking one question. Show me some evidence, please. I spent a whole hour asking one question. Please show me some evidence. And all I got was, here's the articles of impeachment and shell companies. I do have to ask one question because this I don't know, and I'll look this up when I leave. Okay, there were shell companies created. And I'm asking the question. I'll look it up afterwards, but maybe somebody will know. Joe Biden created these shell companies? Are these shell companies that Joe Biden created? I'm asking the question because I saw Wyatt said, well, shell companies was all he needed to hear. And I'm asking, in particular Wyatt, but anybody else who knows, is there any evidence? Is there any evidence that shows that Joe Biden, while he was president or vice president, or really any other time, that Joe Biden created these shell companies? Is there any evidence to show that? Because, they got shell companies in a Biden's name. They got shell companies in a Biden's name. Doesn't necessarily mean that Joe created them. So the question becomes, is there evidence that Joe created the shell companies? I know sometimes it be on a delay. That's why sometimes you'll hear me repeating stuff. I'm giving a chance for the delay and then for people to type in, because sometimes it take a long time to type YES. Yes, there's evidence that Joe Biden started a shell company. Or no, there is no evidence that Joe Biden started a shell company. The evidence says that the shell companies are in a Biden's name, but Joe may or may not have started them. Logic Slayer says shell companies are not always illegal. No, they're not. They're not. They're not. And again, like I keep saying, the crazy part is I don't have no problem believing that Joe Biden is corrupt and criminal. That man been in Congress for like 60 years or something like that. But before I convict him, shouldn't I at least see some evidence? It should not. At least? I would think so. That seems right and fair. All right. So I guess I'm not going to get that answer today. I'll look it up. And I'll try to go back and look at all the stuff that you put up here, Marquetta. I'll try to put up all of the stuff. I look up all of the stuff you put up, and see if in any of that there's any actual evidence. And I'm gonna look up because you said Merrick Garland has publicly stated that Joe Biden. You actually said this, Marquetta, and I asked for clarification's sake, and you said yes. Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States of America, has publicly said that Joe Biden got $8.1 million personally from a criminal enterprise. I'm going to definitely look that up. Because I would think if the Attorney General of the United States could say factually, with no doubt, that the president got $8.1 million from a criminal enterprise, that would be a big deal. That would be a big deal. But you said he did. I'm not saying you're wrong. I got to look it up. I don't believe that is the case. But I'll look it up. Hold on, now I see people talking about somebody else. I don't see no Michael whatever on here. So I don't know where he coming from. Oh, Michael. Okay, I see that. Look, y'all. First, you say you know who he is. I don't even believe it's a real, well, it's definitely a real person. It ain't AI. But I believe it's a white person. I could be wrong. That's what I believe. But I'm not here to create a situation where there's any violence. All right? Again, hey, I don't even like people calling people names. I keep telling people I don't start none. But, but come on. When people go to doing that, I'm just not sure that those are black people. Those feel like white people coming in to start trouble. You know how police send people in, like when there's a protest going on, they send people in plain clothes to try to blend in. And then, one of them might throw a brick through a window, and then they, everybody, goes crazy and runs into the store, and then they start arresting people, and the crowd, there was such a violent crowd. Somebody threw a brick through a window. They don't ever tell you that was an undercover police officer who threw the brick through the window, who started it and created this chaos and then walked away. I believe that's what the anonymous people are. I really do believe that. All right, y'all, I got to get out of here. I'm not going to get an answer about whether or not Joe Biden started the shell companies. But all right, I'll look it up. I'll know tomorrow. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. A whole hour plus just asking for a shred of evidence. But sometimes it be that way. It's after 6. I got to go clean that garage out. It's been the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. Just like with Trump, I want him to receive a fair trial. And if they don't prove beyond a reasonable doubt with evidence that he did something wrong, he should be found not guilty and able to go on his way. Just like with Hunter Biden, I want him to have his day in court. And if they prove that he is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt with evidence, then he should go, well, do whatever the punishment is for the crime. With Joe Biden, before you can convince me that he did something wrong, you should at least be able to show me some evidence. My name is Emanuel Livingston. Until next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.